Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So, this video is going to be about fasting and giving offerings against America. Fasting and giving offerings against America. And this is where the rubber meets the road, because we're in the final hours, in the last days, right? And some people think that you're going to be hands in hands with the Americans. But in the last days, why would you be hands in hands with the Americans? Why would you be hanging out with the Americans in the last days? Why would you think that this is your country in the last days? Why would you think that you're going to be hand in hand, holding their hand to the rapture? That you're going to be holding their hand to the end of the world? That you're just going to be holding their hand? And they do everything under the sun in this country. So it's a certain type of person that's going to fall away from the faith of being a Christian because you're following behind America. You're following behind America, not realizing it's the final hour, not realizing it's the last days, and it would make common sense to even the amateur that this country is going to become evil in the last days, and it's going to oppose you in the last days, and it's going to be the satanic kingdom is going to be used in America in the last days. See all that, right? Okay, so then you wake up and realize you've been given a false timeline by many of these traditional religious churches. Now, the real timeline, what I call the real weather, is they're evil and we're righteous, and we're no longer with them. We can't vote anymore. We can't vote in America. Because now it's become like a Sodom and Gomorrah kind of country. And you're not supposed to help this country anymore. You see what I'm saying, right? You're not supposed to help it. See, what I'm trying to show you is, more than anything, is that you've been on a fake, synthetic, astroturf timeline. Your timeline is religiously astroturf. It's astroturf. Like when you go to a football stadium, they got real grass and they got astroturf, right? The timeline of religion and religiosity that you've been given by a lot of pastors is astroturf, buddy. You've been given astroturf. This is the real grass. What I'm telling you. This is what's really growing up, in other words. This is the real green growing up. You're on astroturf thinking we're still with America. You're on astroturf thinking it can work out, and they got gay and lesbian marriage in the whole country. You're on astroturf, as religiously speaking, being fed astroturf weather and geographics, because you're listening to people that's still talking about what can happen with America and us as Christians, how we can get with the Americans. They're evil now. Can't you tell when you look at other countries that other countries still have their humanity, while America, the people here have become animalistic, like they got the hearts of animals, the brains of animals, whether it's a ferocious brain or it's a dumb brain like an animal, and they got the hearts of animals with no empathy and compassion and apathy. You notice that the people are becoming like animals. And then you know how you know? Because you can go look at other countries, and the people are so nice and sweet, and they still have their humanity and good reasoning in their minds. This country is not any longer a part God's kingdom. God is not looking out for this country, buddy. He might look out for you. God will look out for you, but he's not looking out for this country. Okay? He's not doing it. I'm telling you. I wouldn't sit here and lie to you or say something that is when I feel like it ain't real from my soul. I don't feel that it's real. I wouldn't tell you that. Okay? Because I'm strong enough to handle my wars that I'm going through individually without creating a false narrative against these people. I'm not creating a false narrative because of my wars that I have against these people, these spiritual wars we got against these people. I'm still not going to paint. I'm strong enough not to paint false narratives like they do. Things that have no reality. Things that have no reality is nothing. Huh? Things that have no reality is nothing. And that's what world I continue to reinforce. Because they made their whole fame off of talking about something that had no reality. Okay, do you see me doing something wrong or incriminating? You don't, do you? My freedom is my testament of my purity and who I am. My freedom, the fact that I'm not in prison, is my testament of who I am. My freedom speaks for me. Make sense? Okay. Fasting and giving against America is the season that the real true people of God are in. Now, will this be everybody? Hallelujah. Will this be everybody? No. And this is why I want you to understand right quick. It's never going to be everybody that's going to do what God's true people is doing. A lot of these religious people, they ain't going to never do it right. They ain't going to never go against America. That's why they're going to be right over there. If God decides to allow the mark of the beast to come, they're going to be right over there doing it. They're going to be right over there getting the mark of the beast. Because they're too interwoven into America. As a Christian, the first thing you realize here in America is you're separate from America. One of the first things you realize when you become a Christian, when you first came to God, you felt that's the enemy. And why? Because of the things that they do, the unfruitful works of darkness. Okay? That's why. The unfruitful works of darkness is why they are the enemy. Okay? Now, in the name of evangelizing, many of you are still out there thinking that this is your country. And being on that AstroTurf, you think you're in the real lane. You know what I'm saying? See, the AstroTurf represents the fake religious lane too. That fake religious lane that ain't got no spiritual authenticity behind it. You got fake lanes, just like you got fake lanes in the streets. You got fake lanes in religion. And see, the deception that the devil has done in the last days is he kept people over here in religion. But guess what he did? He made you still have alliance with America. He made you feel like this is still your country. He made you feel like you still should be a patriot. Do you think Lot would have felt like he should have been a patriot of Sodom and Gomorrah? That's 7 out. Did Lot try to be a patriot of Sodom and Gomorrah? So at some point, you got to let go of this mindset that because with time getting more evil, God is going to tell you to let them go. You got to dismiss this mindset that I'm going to be a patriot to the end of the world. That's it right there, buddy. For those who are truly righteous, you think you're going to be a patriot of America to the end of the world? That's what I'm going to keep keying in on and zeroing in on. Do you think you're going to be a patriot to the end of the world based on their morality, their lack of it? Do you think you're going to be a patriot to the end of the world? So what would you be looking for? See, you already see, don't you? What would you be looking for to break your alliance with America? It's already there. It's already there what you're supposed to be looking for to where you can't go no further with America. It's already there. Okay? What would it take for you to break your alliance as God's true people with America? What would it take? What it technically would take foundationally is them and excessive collective sin and rebellion against God, and in this case of this country, sin in the laws. So, because they got sin in the laws, right? You have no more alliance with the Americans. What is that sin? That's gay and lesbian marriage in the country. You can't be in alliance with a country that has gay and lesbian marriage in the country. Okay? You understand that, right? So you, as a righteous person, your first citizenship is God's kingdom, heaven, right? So maybe you wasn't taught properly. That's your first citizenship, which means that's your first nationality, is a citizen of heaven, right? A heavenite. Let's just say a heavenite. A heavenite. A heavenite. That's pretty good, ain't it? You're a heavenite, right? You're a beautiful heavenite, okay? Now, do you think that you can have it both ways, all the way to the end, where you're a heavenite and you're an American citizen by activity? You see what I'm saying? Eventually, you're going to have loyalty to your first citizenship, just like in the natural and the physical. You might have two nationalities because you might live in two different places in the community, in the global community, in the world, right? This might not be your own citizenship. Rich people know what I'm talking about. So this might not be your only citizenship, right? So you have more than one nationality based on citizenship, based on you getting citizenship in different countries. We're talking about in the earth right here. But at the end of the day, you're going to hold loyalty in most cases to the first citizenship, right? The first nationality. Right. When you become born again, you now hold your primary nationality is you're a heavenite. You're a heavenite. So that means when it comes down to it, you're going to choose your first nationality as a citizen of heaven over whatever the Americans are doing. And this is right here. is where many of you are going to get led astray, and you're going to fall away, and you're going to be part of the fulfillment of the scripture that in the last days there should be a great falling away from the faith. That's going to be you. You know why? Because you hold unjustifiable alliance to America, not realizing we're in the final days. You hear it, but it don't register. Okay, so if you're in the final days of earth, why would you think you will be cool with these Americans? If it's the end. If it's the end, next question, wouldn't America be at its worst state? Yes. Okay, so as America is at its worst state, why would you have alliance with America? What would make you feel that as America is at its worst state, and we can just look at the news and see that, right? Right. What would make you think you're supposed to be a patriot as a Christian? What would make you think that you're supposed to be hand in hand, holding hand with the Americans? And they're at their worst state. Now you see what I'm saying. So what you wind up doing is putting your natural citizenship before your spiritual citizenship. And that's what I'm going to be teaching right there. You put your spiritual citizenship first before your natural citizenship wherever you are in the world. And so when your natural citizenship contradicts based on the word of God, not our opinions, when the collective nationality or nation, when the collective nation contradicts the word of God, you have to break alliance and hold loyalty to your spiritual nationality. And I've been like this for quite some time, unbiasedly, not even based on my own circumstances. This is how I would be as a Christian. This is how I am as a Christian. In other words, if those things had never happened against me, I would still be like this, doing a video, because I am really a Christian and I am really loyal to God, which means with my caliber of man, I'm going to voice these same words. I'm going to feel this same way. I'm going to be thorough about the word of God, whether I go through wars or not. The first time I was on YouTube, I was already talking about the condition of America. The first time I was on YouTube was back in 2006, almost 20 years ago. Time flies. I was on YouTube 20 years ago, man. Yeah. That's how long YouTube has been here. Wake up, wake up. YouTube have been here for over 20 years, almost 20 years. Definitely the development of YouTube was 20 years ago. Wake up. We're not going into 50 and 60 and 80 years from now. No. Because see, besides progression of technology and progression of community and how they progress, God can decide to say, based on morality, it's not going any further. And that's not incorporated into all these sci-fi movies where the Americans show themselves surfing into the future. Gliding like Clyde the Glide, like Clyde Drexler, gliding into the future. They gliding like Clyde the Glide, ain't they? Like Clyde Drexler into the future. You think you're going into the future like Clyde Drexler, don't you? You think you Clyde Drexler, don't you? You Clyde the Glide. You Clyde Drexler, ain't you? They Clyde the Glide. That's what it is. See, you know I got a little bit of age on me. I'm talking about Clyde the Glide. Some people don't even know who Clyde Drexler is. America act like they Clyde the Glide going into the future. Talking about 80 and 90 and 100 years from now. You acting like Clyde Drexler. You Clyde Drexler, ain't you? Look, man. Look. This is what you didn't incorporate into all these sci-fi movies. God and his kingdom. See, that's the beginning of this Scientology mentality, of this futuristic world, but it doesn't incorporate God, right? And what he wants to do. See, that's the big surprise. Through all this technology, through all these plans for the future, through all these gadgets and all these things you've made up, they go Clyde the Glide right there. Listen, he think he triggered me, didn't he? Listen, whatever they throwing my way rolls off of my back like water off a duck's back, buddy. In fact, all your psychological attacks at best rolls off my back like water off a duck's back, buddy. Okay? We don't care nothing about psychological attacks anymore. I settle that and decree that and declare that as a prophet. This season, God's people, we no longer care about psychological attacks. We are not feeling guilty for something that we don't think about. We don't care about it. We don't care about that anymore. So you just proceed without trying to work it out in your own mind. The satanic attacks that come, you don't have to worry about working it out. Just proceed forward without trying to work it out intellectually and psychologically. See, the highest ranking, we've been working it out psychologically, right? At some point, we level up. You know how I know? Because God gives us power over that level. Once we get power over that level of trying to work things out intellectually that they done sent to our minds, the next level, the level up is, we ain't working it out. We ain't trying to work it out. Let them say whatever they want. We ain't trying to work it out intellectually within ourselves. In other words, trying to say that we're innocent concerning those things they sending against our mind, we ain't got to prove that no more. That's the level up. Thank you. You just leveled us up. Thank you. Say it like a southern waitress. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. Your alliance with America is officially over. You're not a child, are you? You're not children, right? Okay, so they never incorporate God into reality. That's their biggest mistake. They don't incorporate reality into, they don't incorporate God into the timeline, not the astroturf. See, the futuristic world, the sci-fi world, is astroturf. You know why? Because all these movies, people really believe subconsciously. That's why one of my biggest videos is going to be the subconscious. Because you got to understand the subconscious. Things in the back of your mind. See, in the back of these people's mind, based on the sci-fi movies, they think we're going to somehow be preserved and go into the future. You think you're going to be preserved by technology or preserved by some type of gadgets. But you know what you left out? You did not incorporate God into that world of sci-fi and technology. So that's the big surprise to an atheist. That's the big surprise to these sci-fi people, if you will. That's the surprise and shock is that, oh, we forgot to incorporate God. That's it right there. That's 7 out. You forgot to incorporate God, didn't you? And you know what? God doesn't let it go any further if you're grossly submerged and saturated in sin. It doesn't go any further. Oh, you didn't realize that? So how we figure out how far we go into the future is righteousness. How we figure out how far America gonna go into the future is wickedness. When you incorporate God into real time and reality, you can have all the technology you want, and it's going to end based on wickedness. So you see what a battle is. You see what a battle is. See, you hooked up with the Americans who think they're gonna go into the future like Clyde the Glide. They Clyde Drexler. They Clyde Drex, ain't they? Clyde Drex for short. You Clyde Drex, ain't you? You Clyde the Glide, ain't you? They think they're gonna glide into the future. That's what I'm talking about. Especially with AI. AI done gave all them sci-fi people a renewed hope that they gonna glide into the future. They think they're gonna have a new world. But you know what throws a monkey wrench in the whole situation? Your idea that God is not real. The problem for you as Americans is you haven't incorporated God, not worldviews. How we know you don't really incorporate God into the world is because you don't live for God. if you realized that God is real, right, you would live for him. So it's your lack of faith to where you don't even live for God. You know how I know you ain't got faith? Because you don't live for God. If you have faith, how you going to have faith and don't live for God? How you going to have faith in God and understand who he is by what he reveals to you, right? You're not even going to make it to that step, right? But if you have faith in God, your corresponding action is going to be the whole world and matrix changes to reality that God is real, right? Boom. That's how you get out the matrix. You know how you get out the matrix? Faith in God. Other than that, buddy, you're dependent on Papa, aka Uncle Sam. You depending on Uncle Sam. Ham I am. Green eggs and ham, Uncle Sam. He's just as corny as an animation from Dr. Seuss. And those who work for him is just as corny as an animation from Dr. Seuss. You might as well be thrown in the book of Dr. Seuss. All these psychological games, and it ain't doing nothing to us at all. Oh, I get it. That's supposed to be the last resistance, or the final resistance. You make me laugh. Literally. That's a real laugh. And guess what? You made me laugh. You made me laugh that way. You make me laugh, buddy. We make you cry, don't we? Read it and reap, right? Read it and weep, right? Oh, both of it. Read it and reap. Reap what you sow. That part, that's something out. And read it and weep. Listen, buddy. We don't play science experiment games where you put me in a room and you got all these people out there. They don't think I know they're there. I can sense that they're there, right? That don't mean nothing to me. Because you know what? Since I've been here, how much work I done got done? How much work God's kingdom done got done? The whole world done changed since I got here, in this building. But you're just tiptoeing around. Like the Isley Brothers song, Footsteps in the Dark. You listen, buddy, you're broke down to footsteps in the dark. Your footsteps in the dark, that's about it. Everybody in the building is footsteps in the dark, buddy. Why you listening to Clyde Drexler? And I play my position as the mailman, Karl Malone. Put mail down in South America. You can be Clyde the Glide, and I'm going to be the mailman, buddy. I'm going to be Karl Malone. You could be Clyde Drexler. You want to be Clyde Drexler, don't you? You already wanted to be Clyde Drexler, didn't you? Hey, he already wanted to be Clyde Drexler, didn't he? He already wanted to be Clyde Drexler. Okay, you can go ahead and be Clyde the Glide. Go ahead and be Clyde Drexler. I'm going to be Karl Malone, the mailman. Dumping off shots on everybody. Spiritual shots. Dropping it right in the mailbox, buddy. We're going to be Karl Malone over here. And you can be Clyde the Glide, claiming to glide into 80 years into the future. And it's not going to happen. You know why it ain't going to happen? Because God is going to shut down the world. For what reason? For what reason has God always shut down a country, nations, plural, or the world? For what reason? Tell me the reason why God shuts down any world, so to speak. What's the reason why God shuts down the world? If you had to take a wild guess, what are the reasons why God will shut down a country, a group of people, a tribe of people? Why would he do it? If you had to guess, take a wild guess. Why would he do it? Would it be the economy, or just not doing it God's way, or you know what it would be? In a nutshell, to be safe, excessive sin is when God feels no need for you to be here anymore as a community, collectively. Okay? You didn't realize that, did you? Okay. Now, look out there with Clyde Drexler. He think he gonna slide into the future, don't he? See, Clyde the Glide, in this context, he slide and glide, don't he? He slide and glide, don't he? He do a little bit of both, don't he? He slide and glide, don't he? He think he gonna slide into the future, don't he? You forgot to incorporate God. See, this is why, the Bible says Jesus Christ the Messiah is going to come like a thief in the night. How is that possible when most people that are not even religiously inclined kind of have an astroturf timeline in their head that if it get bad enough, that it's the end of the world. And as a result, maybe I need to get myself together. Well, why? How would it be that wouldn't happen like that? You know how? You know why? Because you start listening to people that showed you technology, and you thought that was going to take you into the future. You know the only thing that can take you into the future? God's power. God Almighty. He the only one can take you into the future. I know by now, at this point, December 27th, 2025, I know you can feel the doubt that's rising up in America. You feel the doubt in America, don't you? People are starting to smell blood. They smell blood, buddy. We all smell blood. Just in case you thought your little psychological attacks was working, we all smell blood. We all smell blood. And we know you're in trouble. See, if you don't do your own research, they will be hiding all this information from the common public. So we smell blood. We see the writing on the wall. I was just looking at a video a couple hours ago where one person, I've never done this in my life. One person put in 500 applications, applied to 500 jobs and couldn't get one job. That's where we at right now. If you don't know where we at, this is where we at. Because they're going to hide it from you. Especially the Trump administration. The Trump administration is going to hide it from you. So I'm going to tell you where you at. You know where you at? You know where you at? This is where you at. The job workforce is collapsing. People are putting in 500 applications and ain't getting one job. People are sleeping in their cars and they're not reporting it on the news. You know why? Because the Americans are in trouble right now and they don't want nobody, including their enemies, to sense the fear, the desperation, the uncertainty of the future. The uncertainty of the future with Trump in office. From day to day, you don't know what the Trump administration is going to do to you or to the world. So guess what, buddy? Guess what? You have to do your own research and see that people can't even get jobs. People sleeping in their cars. People ain't even getting enough food to eat to last from month to month. That's the whole widespread real feel. And this present generation, this present administration doesn't report this. CNN is not going to report it because they're trying to save face. They're trying to hide that they're in trouble. You don't feel it? It's blood in the water among us. It's blood in the water among the sharks. And a shark knows. A shark knows when he smells blood. So don't pay attention to the aggression, this fake aggression of the enemy. Because really, that's fear. Well, why would they be pursuing me and you if they wasn't afraid? Ultimately, if they wasn't desperate, why would they be pursuing you and I? If they wasn't in trouble, why would they be watching what we doing? They're in trouble, buddy. We winning. We making it. That's why now it's all about fasting and giving offerings against the Americans. We fast against them, not fasting for them. Let me slow down right here. Many religious people are not going to be able to go the full distance with us because in their religion they could never fast against an enemy. they could never fast against a community, even though we're in the last days. Everybody always say that, but they haven't lived in the atmosphere of the last days. They mentally processed it. They psychologically processed it, but they didn't come and make the total adjustment in the last days, right? So they're still in a religious land, like in 2004 and 1995 in Christianity, right? And it's so many we can't even pick out who it is. But you won't even find some of the most best high-ranking Christians just admit it for what it is. America is the enemy. And I'm not going to say that it's because they're cowards. But for some, that is the reason. That is the reason. The truth is, there's a lot of timid people in Christianity. And the Bible says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Okay? We're sound-minded. We adjust with a sound mind to the whole situation, not half of the situation. You see what I'm talking about, right? Because see, the part that you don't adjust to, that's what the devil is going to take advantage of. He's going to take advantage of the part that you don't adjust to. In spiritual warfare, we're progressing to the changes, the changing of seasons, with this country becoming more wicked, and you're abstaining from everything they're doing, all the stuff they're doing. You're going to find, right, that some people are not going to adjust 100% like we will. So guess what? They're going to adjust halfway, 50%. And that other 50%, the devil gets right in. So you see the hard job the prophet got to do. I got to show the body of Christ where they really are. Like holding up a mirror. Not to themselves. To the hideous monsters that's all around us. And some of them going to go, ah! When you see the real America, I put the real mirror up to all of it, and you see the real reflection. Ah! I don't know what made you think that we were going to go into the future with this country. And they're in homosexuality and lesbianism by law, where there's all 50 states that has gay and lesbian marriage laws. That's why it's over between us and them. Now we're separating from them. So your president or let me put it like this, any politician cannot be with God. And I know that sounds like an extreme, but it's true. How can you be a Christian not a religious person, a Christian that suffers for Christ, and that abstains from the culture and abstains from the community. But you're right there in the system that marries gay and lesbian people. How can you build something and help strengthen something? Most importantly, how can you help strengthen and maintain something that is directly opposed to God's kingdom? How can you support a system that is directly opposed to God's kingdom? How can you work for it? How can you strengthen it? This is how bad it is. You can't be a Christian and be a politician in America of no kind. Nope. Because you can't strengthen the satanic kingdom and call yourself a Christian. Now the real last days has been revealed to you. That's the mirror. Ah! Where you can't even work in the government. You can't even work government jobs and strengthen the satanic kingdom as a result. Okay? That's how you know it's almost over. Because now you can barely work with these people. Now you can barely do anything with these people. See, listen, right there is where you can see that it's almost over, because you can't even barely do anything where you're not strengthening the satanic kingdom. How you know it's almost over? Because you can barely work a job without strengthening the satanic kingdom. And guess what? God is going to consider that with ending this country. Because now there's people are almost close with any job with strengthening the satanic kingdom. Right? Now we're going to be pulled away from this community. This community is going to be pulled down because God's people are so close to strengthening the satanic kingdom with just working a normal job that it has to be shut down, so that God's people hands won't be unclean, that he will have a spotless bride. You see what I'm saying? Because it's almost every job. If you think about strengthening the satanic kingdom indirectly, most of these jobs out here, McDonald's, Burger King, they all support what? Gay causes and lesbian causes, don't they? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you can find most of these name brand restaurants that we work at, even us as Christians, you see what I'm saying, right? We're working and strengthening organizations that go on to give what they have from their organization and brand and corporation to gay causes and lesbian causes. If you are a Christian that's struggling with being a lesbian or a homosexual, you're in danger of hellfire. You're so comfortable that you think you could do the little rinky-dink little shimmy and be in God's good graces, but you got something in your heart. You got lesbian tendencies in your heart. You got homosexual tendencies in your heart. And these would be the same people, the main people in the church. But you still kind of flirt with women as a woman. You kind of still flirt with women. As a man, you still kind of flirt with men. You still are kind of attracted to men. And you're in danger of falling away from the faith. Why, you think it's all good? This spiritual war is about to go to a whole nother level, buddy. And you're going to see all these timid Christians just fall away, buddy. You're going to see all these timid people just bow down to America. See, you didn't consider in the final hours that you would have to have heart to even make it to heaven. You thought the devil was going to just let you serve God in your house or in your apartment or in your mansion for the rich Christians. Did you think that God was just going to let you serve? The devil was going to let you serve the Lord Almighty on your land without being disturbed? Systematically. See, the disturbance is systematically. And it's going to be chess moves. It's not, you abstain from sin, right? But what's going to get you, what's out to get you now is alliance with a country that is unclean. You see how that resonated right there? You have alliance. I don't care about this country. I care about God first. I care about his business. That's what a Christian should be saying out their mouth. It shouldn't be no, well, you know, my country and every other word you talk about America. Listen, that's not, listen. I always knew, and I'm surprised that you don't feel the same way. I always knew that at some point these people was going to become evil. And it happened. It's here. That's what it is. That's what you're dealing with. And many of you think it's going to change. It's not going to change. You're not used to real-time war and real-time, what I call real-time crimes and real-time war. You have no experience with being in real-time crime, real-time wars, real-time conflicts. So for a person like that, it's surreal to you that this is all happening. And in your mind, because of your lack of experience in real wars, in real conflicts, your mind can't quite wrap itself around what's happening. And the rest of us are not struggling. I'm not struggling at all with what's happening because I am used to real-time crimes and real-time war and real-time happenings. I process it properly. I come to terms with it properly. And many of you that are American, you are classified in Mickey Mouse world. Just go home and watch TV, get you some chips. Get you some chips and popcorn. You like chips and popcorn together. You're a little weird. You like Frito-Lays and popcorn. You put it all together and heat it up. You're trying to be a little bit more than an original. You're trying to be a little bit more than an original. Chips and popcorn, huh? Don't knock it till you try it. It actually sounds kind of good, don't it? Chips and popcorn. Anyway, I bet somebody gonna watch this video and say, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. Chips and popcorn. That sounds actually kind of good, though. I have heated up my chips. That's good. Heating up chips, dump them out, heat them up. Look, man, let me tell you something. Some of y'all are classified by the government, military, police, in so many words. They may not word it like I do, but you're a docile civilian. So when these real wars take off, if you believe, I don't know, some people might, because of your docile nature, you might think somehow this is all going to calm down. But that's you being docile in mentality. It's not going to calm down, buddy. You know how I know for sure? Because of the psychology of the people. You can get more money for Americans. Listen, all this stuff they're complaining about, the job force, the workforce, inflation, the price of food at these restaurants that was once inexpensive. You can fix all of that. Moving forward, you can fix it all, right? This is why I know technology is not the future. God holds the future. You can get all the technology you want. And guess what's going to be the other problem? Guess what's going to be the problem? The mentality of the people. So you can get all the money. You could even be passing out $1,000 checks. I've always explained this analogy before. I've always said this analogy before. You could be giving out $1,000 checks, $2,000 for every American citizen, whether they qualify or not. You're just throwing it out. Let's just say you just throw it out. So it's roughly over 400 million people in America. That's all it is. If you don't know the numbers, it's basically 400 million people here. You could hand out $2,000 checks to 400 million people. And I guarantee you, people will still be killing, stealing, hurting each other, plotting and scheming on each other. You know how I know? Because of the mentality. So quickly, while your mind is right there, that's not going to be the solution. You see what I'm talking about? Money is no longer the solution. For those of you who are cultured in American culture and community, you see the mentality of the people, right? That means black, white, and everything in between. No disrespect. I say that respectfully. Do you think their mentalities are going to change with more money? Do you think they're going to change if they get a little bit more money? So if we handed out $2,000 checks to every citizen, legal citizen, right? If we handed out $2,000 checks per every legal citizen, do you think the killing would stop? Do you think the hate and the scheming and the plotting and the retarded gang stalkers, do you think all of this will stop? So then the smart person concludes that money in the last days is no longer the answer for change in the community. It won't change the community. See, Trump already knows this. You know how I know? Because he got too many advisors showing him this, that, and the third, right? And what you're going to conclude with all these informations of reality is that it's hopeless, because these people are not going to change. And it doesn't matter how much this is the opposite side. This is the other side, because everybody's complaining like they the righteous Americans. I represent a righteous man. And you know what a righteous man gonna say? Through all these people that's complaining about America, and if we had this and we had that, woo woo woo, right? You know what I'm gonna tell you? Pull up a chair, let me tell you. Just pull up a chair. You know what I'll tell you? You could build up this whole country. You could fix the economy. You could fix the school system. You could fix the food industry. You could have more available food for an inexpensive price, an inexpensive amount. You could fix all type of financial problems with bills and health care. You could fix everything. You could fix all the bickering between the Republicans and the Democrats. You could fix all of that. Oh, guess what? This is the punchline right here. Pull up a chair. You could fix racism. You could fix racism in America. And I guarantee you will still have people killing each other. It is so bad in the black community. You could take away all racism. Just give me credit. You ain't never heard this before, right? You ain't never heard it quite like this. You could fix all racism. Guarantee you. Pretty sure about this. I'm pretty sure about this. I said I'm pretty sure about this. You will still have people murdering black people and children. And you can get rid of all the racism. This is how bad it is. I'm showing you what I call a definition I coined. The real weather You got fake weather too. And it's certain people who create fake weather. It's fake weather. It's like Harvey. It's a synthetic storm. It's a synthetic climate. The storm is always blaming white America. And people bring that fake weather into the community. These stormy clouds of racism. This rain of racism. Raining on the throne. Raining on the people. This blizzard of racism. Well, it is like a blizzard because it's white and they white and it's like a blizzard. It's a blizzard of racism, isn't it? That's what's stopping you, a blizzard of racism. Them snowballs of racism. That's what's getting you, ain't it? It's a blizzard of racism, isn't it? Is that what did it to you? It was a blizzard of racism. If we get rid of all the racism, you'll still be killing each other. That's how you know we're in the last days. Look at black people. They're the indication because of how much they changed from their natural condition. How much evil has done to them. How much the satanic kingdom has done to them. At one time they was fighting for each other. Now they fighting each other. And it's almost cliche because you done heard it so many times. But just because it's almost cliche don't mean it changes God's perspective on it, does it? No. So while you was dismissing all this killing, God wasn't dismissing it. And now you got the real weather. The real weather is all that killing out there. And what happened as far as karma. See, low key, people don't think no karma should come from all that killing out there. Low key, people don't expect nothing to happen with all them babies being killed. Oh, nothing don't supposed to happen. No, let's listen. Let's ask black people. Black people. Black America. Do something supposed to happen with all that killing out there? I ain't asking you if you're trying to work it out and figure it out and try to fix it. We ain't talking about that. That's irrelevant. What I'm asking you is a simple question. It's very simple. It's very simplistic. It's a very simplistic question. Okay. Do something bad supposed to happen to the collective black community for doing all the killing of black children and black people? Do something supposed to happen? Next question. Do you think God is going to do something about it? All the killing of black children, God seeing every single black child killed. You can't measure that because you can't watch the news in every city, right? So just in case you don't know any better, CNN doesn't cover every single murder in every single city. They just cover the outstanding, the shocking murders. They can't cover every murder in Dallas, Texas. They can't cover every murder in Cincinnati, Ohio. They can't cover every murder every day in Kansas City, Missouri, right? Right. They can't cover every murder in Miami. So all you're going to see is the murders in your local city and community. That's all you're going to see. God sees every murder in every city. Now, that's the real weather. You see where we at, right? You just been looking at your local news talking about it's getting bad. Your local news cannot hold the full capacity of how bad the killing really is. And guess what? There are people, and I'm convinced of this, that are black Democrats that don't want all the killings put on the news because it creates to them a certain narrative. It creates a certain narrative, right? But it's reality. But I believe that among CNN, MSNBC, all the Democrat news channels, there are manipulators that do not want to put all the black killings on the news because they feel it creates a certain narrative. What narrative is that? Outside of reality. It's reality. That's the narrative. The narrative is reality. So now, up to date, right? You're up to date. You ain't in 1972 among soul brothers. There's no more soul brothers. They in the house somewhere. It's no more soul brother time. Okay? We're not on soul brother time. See, that's your problem. You think we on soul brother time. Soul brother time is gone. Soul sister time is gone. That's the bottom line. All the killing, everything you see, and people are not holding that narrative, the truth, the reality. It's not in their mind. You know why? They're so used to shucking and jiving. Like the old school say. You shucking and jiving, buddy. Black people has become just like white Americans, hiding the truth in the news, where they're not showing you all the killings all across the country. You know who stopped that? Who you think stopped it? Black people stopped it. You know what their argument was? We don't want all of that put together because it makes us look a certain way. Well, it makes you look the reality way. You look like reality. You look like reality when you show reality. You see that part? You see the difference? You see the difference? You see the difference? I am convinced that black people have finally caught up to the corruption of white people. Well, let's do a little checklist. They kill black people like white people, don't they? You can't say nothing to them like you couldn't say nothing to white people without them conspiring against you. Well, white people used to do the same thing. You start talking about white people, they'll conspire against you, put you in these little situations. See what I'm saying? Listen, buddy, you got the same demons that the white Americans had, and you don't know no better. See, demons never go away. All they do is regroup and come up with another plan. For black people, once you start getting out of slavery and being lynched, guess what happened to you next? demons repackaged themselves and started making you do what white people was doing during slavery and during lynching times. All it was demons using you to do what white people was already doing. Demons came in and used you to do what white people was doing. That's how you know it's demons. Because they regroup and they do the same activity, even using different players, where you can't blame race and white people anymore for the killing. It's demons that used you, that previously used white people. Now they're using you. They're using you. And you're just like white people, trying to hide the truth. So, the righteous Africans are against the wicked Africans. And I don't hide it. We don't deny it. They are wicked Africans, and they think they're the only Africans in the world. They so gassed in this country that you can't tell African Americans that you can be against them and love other Africans. You can't get them to believe and understand that I can love Ethiopians, I can love Nigerians, I can love Africans all across the continent of Africa. But I got a problem with you. I fast against you. I do fasting against African Americans. And the reason why is because they played with me first. Okay? So I'm fasting against them. Because I know there's some ignorant people that think they represent what's black and what it is to be black, and you don't. But in your ignorance, you oppose me as if you fight for black people, right? And you just made a fool of yourself. You know why? Because I look blacker than you. I actually do. And you just made a fool of yourself in front of everybody, thinking that you defended black people. And you're just another bad example of what black people are. And guess what? I can have a problem with you and love Ethiopians in Africa, and love the Nigerians, and love the people from Sierra Leone, but you are just one tribe of African. I can love the Jamaicans. I can love the Bayesian people. I can love the people from the Virgin Islands. You see that part? We can love all these other Africans and realize you are the problem. Not all Africans, you. There are some Africans that got a sweet spirit, and it's no way you can hate them. But that's not you. You ain't got no sweet spirit. You are bitter, salty to the taste of humanity. You can go to Africa and people are as sweet as fruit. And if you are a good human being, it's no way you can hate them Africans. You can't hate them. You got good Jamaicans, sweet, raised good, got good morals, loving people. And you can't look at the color of their skin You can't look at their complexion. You can't look at who they are and hate that. No, you can't. Because the love in the proper condition of their heart, you cannot hate them. You can't hate them. You know who we got a problem with? You. That's who we got a problem with. You can't trigger me, buddy. I just heard you. I don't care about that. You the problem. And we figured it out. We figured it out. It's you. And you know what the problem is? I'm going to tell you what the problem is. You think you represent all Africans and you don't. I can look at the features of an African person because I'm African myself. And some of y'all on cartoon time like I ain't black and I come from North Carolina and you must be smoking crack if you think you blacker than me. Where you from? Where you from? I'm from North Carolina. Now where you from? New York? That would never compare to the experience of being black in North Carolina. It will never compare to it. All you doing is showing your complete ignorance. When I'm definitely, by everybody's standard, the people that you respect the most, when it comes to who's black, they gonna give it to me. Check this out. I done seen more black people with black features, broad nose, all that, broad forehead. We're gonna talk about features. We're gonna talk about that. Because there's some of you who think everybody hates you because of how you look. You know what I grew up around? Real Africans with real African features. All in North Carolina. All in North Carolina. It's Africans that look African. And you know what you will say up here in New York? And this is even other black people. You know what you'll say about the Africans in North Carolina? They look retarded. These black people in New York will say we look retarded. You know why they think that? Because they're not used to people with African features. Your forehead is too broad. The New York black people. See, finally you met your match. You should have knew. You played yourself. Playing with somebody like me from North Carolina. You played yourself, little buddy. We caught you. Look. They'll look at our foreheads. How broad our foreheads is, right? Like that. That's an African forehead. These cultured New Yorkers up here will say, you look retarded. Look at your forehead. Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? Well, then why are they saying that about us? So after all, it was you that looked at our features and discriminated. Their own people, black people, look at you and say you're retarded, right? Based on your broad forehead and your broad features. I can look at anybody's features. And guess what? Oh, white people guilty of it too. They look at you. If you come from North Carolina and you got real African features, guess what they gonna look? Guess what they gonna say? Oh, that person look a little retarded. That person looks a little retarded. Why? Because I got a broad African forehead. See, I can look. While you trying to trigger on me, listen, buddy, you ain't smart enough to read my mind, buddy. Gotcha. Listen, I can look at anybody and look past their features and look into their soul and see a good person. I look at you and you can be beautiful. And I see a rotten soul. And that's the difference. See, the real African can see that even though your forehead is broad, you're not retarded. Did you hear what I said? You know why they think there's something wrong with you? Because they influenced by Europeans. You got an indigenous vibration. You're not my match, buddy. You one tribe. African American is one tribe, and if we have a real conversation, the prophet is going to bury you. So guess what? You lurk in the background and can't even have a real conversation. Which means to me, many of you are not real men and women. Well, why can't you have a real conversation? Huh? Oh, you're going to use intuition. Well, why you ain't use intuition on all this killing going on? All these children being killed. Where's your spirituality on that? Oh, you're not putting it to work, but you're going to put it to work on me. Well, why you ain't using your spirituality for your people? You know why? Because you're really not about that life, buddy. You're just a culture person who think you jump into the defense of black people and you done got yourself in trouble and you done played yourself where you don't even look black to us. You know what you look like? You look like cowards, lames, overzealous people that really ain't got no backbone and don't even love your own people. You thought it was me, it's you. I don't have to prove my love. Listen, you ain't never break my soul and make me feel. See, you used to challenging white people where they hate your features. You know how many African features I've been around? So I look at the African woman and I see love. You don't do that, especially in a big city. You don't even see Africans as your own people. Let a black man go down the wrong street in New York City and they ain't gonna say nothing about being no brother. I'm talking about one that look more African than me. Let him go down the wrong street and got a little watch on, got a little gold on. I bet, listen, if they don't know where he's from, you don't think they gonna rob him? They gonna rob him. And they ain't gonna care nothing about no brother. That is the condition of most of your community. So you can't even have the real conversations with a real man, buddy. With a real man. With a real man. I believe all different complexions and people are beautiful. You think your own people are only beautiful and you don't even love them. You don't even love them. So we never was playing a game where you thought you was outing me as a sellout. You know what wind up happening to you? You wind up outing yourself as people that don't even love your own people. That's it. That's all. Okay? I can prove that beyond psychology. I can prove that with all these kids being killed. You're subject to psychological stuff. I'm not. I can make anyone believe that you don't love your own people. You can't make nobody believe I don't love black people. I don't have a problem with Africans. I have a problem with you. And you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? You are Americanized. You have become Americanized. That's why anything that comes here to America turns to defecation. Anything that comes here, I don't care if it's African, if it involves itself with the Americans, it becomes nothing. That's the problem. Because I can show you Africans in Africa that are beautiful, beautiful people. And if you got good humanity, you already know what I'm talking about. You can't hate them by the color of their skin. You can't hate them because they look African. Are they African? Because you still see the soul, the love, the good humanity. You, no matter how beautiful you are, people hate you. You know why? You brought the hate on yourself. You brought the hate on yourself. Now you trying to get me caught up in blackness. It ain't gonna work. You know why? Because God is against you. God is against you already, buddy. See, you play the clown game, playing in my lane. You and these Americans. You first started out talking about I was a pedophile. Then you went from that to now acting like I'm a sellout. You went from issue to issue, being manipulated as a community by these ignorant people. And none of it was true. And listen, if you want to go to war tonight, we can go to war tonight. That's how 100 I am, buddy. You want to go to war tonight, we can go to war tonight. Okay? I'm not playing. Okay? I'm going to always be a problem because you think you got me in a situation, and I'm telling you I'm ready at all times. All the time I'm ready. Okay? You're in a fantasy world. You're not built like me. You're the type of people, I call you Bill Cosby people. You got these images of what you think it is to be black, but really you out of touch with being black. You are. You out of touch with it. I'm very in touch with my blackness, buddy. I'm from coast to coast with mine. Where you been as a black man lately? Where you been as a black woman lately? Where you been lately? Where you was treated differently as a black person? Oh, just New York. Just New York. You ain't been down south lately. How you been out to the West Coast as a black man lately? Come on, stop playing with me, buddy. I'm going to tell you what your problem is. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You used to being unchallenged by somebody that's black just like you. They got their head on straight just like you. And you think we all on the same side. We not. And that's what makes you simple. That's what makes you simple-minded. Listen to this. Let me slow down right here. What makes you simplistic is when you think in black community, there's only one side and we got to join you. Boom. That's 7 out. You think we got to join you, don't you? For us to be right, we got to join you. That's simplistic. You're not the only good black people. You ain't the only good Africans. And that's for the culture. That's for the whole culture. We don't have to join you to be black. My only thing I got to do is be loyal to the first generations of African Americans. I only got to be loyal to the first black people here. And that's the only thing your conscience is going to tell you. I'm loyal to black people that is the first generations of black people. I'm not loyal to you. I'm loyal to the first generations. And that's how you beat them. You know how you beat them? Oh, I'm loyal to black people. Oh, you are? We can't tell. You know why you can't tell? Because I'm loyal to the first generations of black people. You got two type of Negroes. You got two type of Negroes. Those who are loyal to the first generations of African Americans. And those who are loyal to these bums now. Who ain't doing nothing. God would not even hold you to be loyal to that. But in your own personal feelings, and this is where you're going to get in trouble once again, you held loyalty to these people, didn't you? My question to you, what is there to be loyal to? What are you actually being loyal to? When you break it down, who are you being loyal to? When you break it down, who are they that you are being loyal to? when you break it down, what is the mentality of the people that you are being loyal to? When you break it down, what are the actions of the people that you are being loyal to? When you break it down, are the people that you are loyal to, are they contradicting themselves? I'm convinced that if Malcolm X and MLK was here, they would not be loyal to these people. Nope. Nope. Ain't no way in the world you gonna tell me Malcolm X will be loyal to these present day black people. Based on what? Based on African? Nah, that's not the only element. See, back then, that was not the only element. That's the only element you could talk about right now. It's just black, just butt naked black. Back then, they were oppressed. They suffered at the hands of oppressors, right? Lynchings, assassinations. Now, show me what you're loyal to. Show me what you're loyal to. You're loyal to an idea, a perspective, a worldview, a type of people that is no longer active in the community. How Tupac would put it, is a dying breed. You coming up still among a dying breed. So now you've been getting a pass from Malcolm X and his work. And now that pass is revoked because you no longer, as a collective black community, have the mentality of Malcolm X. No, you don't. No, you don't. So how long are we supposed to give you a pass? How long? How long are we supposed to give you a pass for being the people of Malcolm X, but you don't have the mentality? You kill each other, you conspire against each other, all that kind of stuff. You plot against each other. Malcolm X wouldn't have embraced you, and you can't accept it. Bob Marley wouldn't have embraced you. You got to remember, Malcolm X and Bob Marley and MLK were not here to see crack cocaine destroy the neighborhoods of America. They wasn't here. So when you think about them, if you're not smart, you forget they didn't see the metamorphosis of the black community. They didn't see none of it. They seen nothing. They seen no gang banging. They didn't see no Crips and Bloods, which is real gang banging. They didn't see all that killing with the Crips and Bloods. They didn't see crack cocaine hit every great metropolis of America. Malcolm X didn't see none of that. MLK didn't see none of that. So how can you say they would be like these other pro-black people embracing you and everything? First of all, and I'm going to keep it 100, Malcolm X was a different caliber of man and convicted of his convictions on a whole nother caliber than anybody you can show me right now. Which means he was on a whole different caliber of conviction and sincerity, which means he wouldn't have played no games with people selling crack cocaine and killing and gangbanging. He wouldn't have played no games with them. Can you imagine Malcolm X kind of just, well, it's going to get better? Can you imagine him saying, oh, well, it's just going to get a little better. It's going to get better. Can you imagine Bob Marley sitting back watching when the only thing he smoked was marijuana? Can you imagine Bob Marley sitting back and seeing black people destroy themselves with crack cocaine? Can you imagine that? And he say nothing about it? Listen, buddy, let me tell you something, man. Everybody that's your main leaders wouldn't even respect you right now. they wouldn't even respect you. They wouldn't respect you. They was on a higher level of caliber where they wouldn't even respect you right now. They might spit on you for killing black children and killing black people. Malcolm X. So if you had to call it, even though we know you're a sucker, you can't call it. But if you had to call it, we know you're a sucker. You can't call it. But if you had to call it, how do you think Malcolm X will respond to all this stuff going on? All the killing, all the gang banging that's still active. It's still gang banging going on. Even though Crips and Bloods ain't the main gang out there, it's all kind of little gangs that's gang banging. That's the new day we live in. How you think Malcolm X would respond to all this gang banging? See, the difference between me and you, I don't worship African. I worship God. Okay? I love good people. But do I worship African? No, I don't worship African or in any form or fashion. Because you know why? See, unlike many other Africans, I know that Africans sold Africans into slavery. Won't you tell your children the truth? That we're here not because of white people. We're here because of other Africans. You can't beat that, buddy. You can't beat it. See, if I was a racist white man, you know what the first thing I would say? Well, hold up. Didn't y'all sell each other into slavery? Didn't y'all sell each other into slavery? Yeah, you did. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, because you was watching all those Spielberg movies, wasn't you? Steven Spielberg movie got you, did it? Well, you watching Roots and all of that. Did they show the part on Roots where African chiefs were selling Africans into slavery? They didn't show that part, did they? So your kids and you walk away with under the impression that white people just went over there and got African people. Listen, when I did my own research as a grown man, I found it to be almost impossible with my own logic for white people to come over there and just take black people. But then what made me kind of believe it, before I educated myself, because I was wondering why it happened. That's the bottom line. I was wondering why it happened. Listen, buddy, you think I'm on a tightrope of being perfect. I'm not perfect. And if you try me, you're going to see I'm not perfect. Let's get that understood. Because I don't play clown games. You a clown waiting for a contradiction. That's a clown position in this situation. Somebody just sitting back waiting. Oh, this person called him a prophet, just sitting back waiting to see something. Man, you a clown. That's a clown position. A real man ain't gonna do that. Let's get that understood. You in the jam because you played a clown position. Now you tell me who's more African. When you played the clown, you played the bozo. Listen, man, let me tell you something. Africans don't play bozo positions. But you playing a bozo, but man, listen, man, ain't no real one I know. Coast to coast is gonna play the position you playing. That's how we know you Freemasons, a secret society people, and we do not acknowledge you. You know why? Because we detect you as bozos, clowns, positions that we would never play as a black man. So see, right there, we find out it's more than one way to skin a cat. We find out, listen, buddy, a black man would never play your position. But yet you gonna act like you blacker than what? Than us? Well, a black man wouldn't play your position. No, he wouldn't. Show me a black man to play that position. It's too cowardly, buddy. That's 7 out. It's too cowardly for a black man to play your position. He will play my position. See, this is how you know you're black. Will another black man play your position? Ooh. Ooh. This is how you know you in tune with blackness. Will another black man play your position? Not mine, not somebody else, not looking around, you. Would another black man play your position? No. And that's how we get to the bottom of it. Now, when you find a black man like me, they're going to defend himself if they acting crazy. You're doing it right now in the streets. You're defending yourself against other black people right now. Let's get that totally crystal clear and understood. You defending yourself against other black people right now. That's why, man, listen, you can't play that soul brother trying to out somebody. That's done, sucker. You know why it's done? Because you're killing you contradict yourself too much. You're killing each other. Nobody ain't gonna sit there and let you place a position like I'm on a tightrope and you got the yay or nay on my life. Like Biggie say, like you can just sit back and decide. Imagine them sitting back like they can just decide. You know what I'm saying? I feel the same way, man. Like that's what Biggie say. Imagine me sitting back and like they can just decide. In other words, like they can just decide yay and nay on your life. Man, listen, bro, listen, man. Listen. Would a black man play your position? That's how listen, that's homework and that's food for thought for everybody here. Would a black man play your position? No. Some of y'all know he ain't gonna play your position. In other words, he ain't gonna never be in your situation. Now, can you find a black man on the streets? Yes. Can you find a black man homeless? Yes. Can you find a black man broke? Yes. Can you find a black man defending himself against other black people? Absolutely. Can you find two righteous sides like Malcolm X in the Nation of Islam? See where I'm going with this? Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam had problems, didn't he? Who was the sellout? Nobody. Nobody was the sellout. From that, you see two sides where you can't play like with the corny stuff, like one is the sellout. Sometimes. Nobody's the sellout, buddy. It's just a war. Because, let me tell you why. Because of disrespect, buddy. It's a war because of disrespect. You too stupid to see it. It ain't got nothing to do with no sellout. It's a war because of disrespect. That's all it is. Whether it's from my brother and you. Okay? I'm not in the dark about that. I'm playing chess. I'm fasting against my brother. I'm doing a fast against him. I've been fasting against him for 6 years. Oh, just in case you didn't think I was aware. I've been fasting against my brother for 6 years, going on 7 years. I'm slipping? I'm not aware. But I'm fasting against my brother for almost 7 years. No. Let me tell you something, buddy. You're not aware of what this is all about. I told you, lames. This is about a female, a woman. That's all this was just about, right? That's all what this was all about. You being ignorant, you took their money from the Freemasons. Black people took black Freemasons' money to gang stalk and to play games with me. See, that's the part that you don't want to talk about. Where you didn't really, it wasn't even a matter of right and wrong or motives or who I was and whatever I done. You took money from these people. And you're not telling America that. You're not telling the world that you took money from these people, whether I was right or wrong. Before you even come to a logical investigation or searching of a person that made common sense to see what they was doing. You did what you did for money without even doing a proper, thorough investigation of a person. See, that's what the black community ain't telling you. They took money in ignorance first. They didn't come out here knowing what they knew. They still don't know what they knew. So put two and two together. They don't know what they know now, so how they knew what they knew then? They didn't know what they know. They don't know nothing. But you took money, didn't you? Yes, you did, buddy. So all you proved is more modern day ignorance of the Americans, of African Americans specifically. While I'm loyal to the first generations of African Americans, and I step over all these present generations because they don't listen. You kill each other. I don't have to have nothing to do with you. God don't listen. God would totally understand if I don't want nothing to do with you. It's not hate. It's separation. Hate and unforgiveness or whatever else you want to call it. I'm separating from people who contradict themselves way too much to be playing with me. And I don't care about a few good men. A few good men don't matter to me. What they got to do with this collective community? That's what you're going to judge. If somebody come out against you collectively, what you going to judge? An individual? Well, there's one good guy, and I'm going to just see all black people differently over there. Just because there's one good guy. Don't work like that, buddy. This good one woman, I'm going to see all black people good. It don't work like that. That's why you got to be careful with what you do. You know what I'm saying? You can't find me doing nothing. That's what I'm saying. What? Keeping it 100? That's what you can find me doing, keeping it 100. Because at the end of the day, we fighting each other anyway, and that's where the punchline is. Well, listen, with that understanding, why you think conflicts ain't gonna start in any part or any place in the black community? It can happen anywhere. One thing that people know is black people can't even live together. We can never live together. That's an ongoing joke among our own people. Talk to old school black people. They'll tell you, oh, we can't live together as black people. Oh, but Mexicans can live 15 people in the house. You know why? Because they understand submission. Who's the boss? Black people coming to your house and eating up your food and thinking they the boss. They don't know how to submit. It's all chiefs and no Indians. In other words, all leaders and no followers. But you think you can play my position, but you can't. That's what I'm saying. And then you find envious people who want to play a position and they can't listen, they can't prove to do nothing. They have no performance. They are not excellence in their strength. There's no excellence in their strength, but they just want to play your position because they're influenced by these people on TV. You want to look like the Don, but you can't play that position. That's the truth. You can't play one day the position I played in my shoes. Keep in mind, I'm networking all over the whole world. You couldn't play. You're too ignorant to play that position. Where you can go see different cultures and understand different people and not be ratchet. You too ratchet to play my position. You too unprofessional to play my position. If we gave you a chance, you couldn't do it because you too unprofessional. That's the main problem in the black community. You are too unprofessional. That's why we didn't get a mob. You know why we didn't get a mafia? You know why we didn't get a mafia like everybody else? Because we're too unprofessional. We didn't produce the highest level of gangsters because black people are too unprofessional and they pride themselves on being ratchet and unprofessional. That's why we couldn't get a mafia. That's why, and we needed it more. I'm not saying I condone it, but we needed it more than anybody else because of racism and everything. We needed a mafia to be in this whole government and all in this legal system and everything. We needed a mafia, but we couldn't get it because all black people prided themselves that was in the streets on being ratchet, on being the shooter, on being the ratchet person. And today, nothing has changed. People still pride themselves on being ratchet. That's why you can't get nowhere. That's why they ain't take me seriously. You know why? Listen, I was too professional. I was so professional, they ain't even believe I knew anything about the streets. And that's how you get under people's radar. I'm so professional, you don't even know what to believe. Listen, my vocabulary is so developed, and the way and how I speak is so refined, you don't know if I'm real or fake, do you? Well, I'm a little too refined, ain't I? See, I can tell you all about this situation. That's why we never got a mafia, because we're not professional enough. And then once you find somebody like me, you want to put me through these rinky-dink prison house tests, and we know you yourself collectively ain't even professional enough to even try to qualify me or be in my position. But yet you think you the committee over me. You ain't no committee over me. That's a 7-hour. You ain't no committee over me. You tripping. How we know that? Because you're not professional enough to be a committee over me. How the committee gonna be more unprofessional than me and judge me because you want to play your position, and you ain't gonna play your position here. You want to play your position for claiming who I am, and you ain't got nothing to do with it. It's all God. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Not really. What? I was influenced by some street wisdom from some people throughout my way. That's about it. And who can actually take credit for all of that? Not one person. And it definitely wouldn't be you, now would it? Not a Freemason, not an Illuminati member. That we know that's what you are. But you trying to camouflage yourself like you down with the community. Man, come on, man. Stop playing with me, buddy. A black prophet gonna shred through that. I know you ain't even representing what the streets is and black people, but you try to camouflage and act like that's what you are to me. You gotta do this, man. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but you got to, man, because see, when you start rising up with power in the black community, the first thing you're gonna find is gatekeepers. That's number one. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Listen, I'm gonna go deeper into it. It's gonna be gatekeepers, right? But listen, they ain't doing nothing presently, are they? That's how you convince the intelligent people, because before you came along, what they was doing? A little to nothing, right? Right. All of a sudden now they got a shop set up of committee. All of a sudden now they got something going on. Tupac, his mother said this: do not volunteer yourself to black people because they will use you. That's what Tupac's mother said to him. Don't never volunteer yourself to black people, because they'll use you. They'll see how they can utilize you. Now, if Tupac's mother said that, you know what I'm saying? You ain't on that caliber, no. You ain't in the struggle like that, no. She was an activist, and she concluded she loved black people, but she kept it 100, didn't she? Now I say the same thing. What's the difference? The truth is the same, right? That's 7 hours. The truth is the same, right? Don't matter who it's coming from. See, your problem is the truth ain't the same if it's coming from me. She said the same thing. Do not volunteer yourself to black people, because they will use you. That's what she said. See, I know the real history. You thought you treated me like I'm like some little airhead dude, some little delinquent. When I can quote Tupac's mother and put you in your place and justify my position. Put you in your place and justify my place. You never volunteer yourself to them. You know why? They'll use you and you try to utilize you for their own purposes. And if you want somebody to do something for you, you know how you do it? You come to them face to face, man to man. You don't sit back in the shadows and act like you on top of me, like you a boss and we know you fronting. You ain't no boss, but you sitting back in the shadows like you a boss over me, man. Stop playing. That's a 7 hour. You a boss over me? How? Explain it intelligently, like I explain all my stuff intelligently. See, the highest of the masters, man, listen, you got to open your mouth, buddy. You can move in silence and be a dummy. You know what a mute is? A mute is somebody who don't talk. I ain't never met no leader that don't talk. I'm a leader. You can move in silence, and I'm a leader. I gotta open my mouth. That's how I'm built. I ain't never met no dumb leader or some mute leader. Come on, man, stop playing with me, buddy. We gotta get all this stuff figured out. We gotta get it all figured out. How you gonna be a mute and can't even open and be a leader? Oh, I get it. You follow the streets talking about killers move in silence. Key words, killers, right? So you're not a leader, are you? Well, killers move in silence. That's killers. A leader, listen, I send out what I need to send out against you. I don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they gonna do it for me. Cause ain't nobody, cause listen, when they see I got goods and Freemasons is sitting up here with all this information, but you don't even open your mouth, but then you playing with the man that is, they tired of you. You sitting here this whole time, you ain't said nothing, but all of a sudden now you supposed to be who, what, when, where? What you supposed to be? Man, stop playing with me, bro. We don't respect no Freemasons, because by now you should have had a leader that came out that we all know as black people. Not in secret, openly. You should be able to show us a handful of black Freemasons that done something for the black community. Openly, where they publicly, openly are recognized by who? Reverend Jesse Jackson. Well, we feel we got mixed feelings. It's mixed reviews on him, isn't it? Well, that's the truth. It's mixed reviews on Jesse Jackson. Well, I mean, what you want me to say? It's not. It is. Who else you want to use that's Freemasons? I know he won. I think he is. Yeah, he is. Okay, so then who else? Oh, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq. Shaq don't agree with all this stuff probably going on right now. Thought I was stupid, didn't you? I bet Shaq wouldn't agree with this. I know Shaq is a Freemason. See, unlike you, I do study my surroundings. Show me a Freemason that we all respect as the black community. You don't even got one that we all respect, buddy. Come on, stop playing, buddy. That's why we not gonna play this game where you played like you in this lane of helping black people and you been in this lane, or you for the community. Well, where you been at? Where the Freemasons been? Because me as a black man, I don't have one of them that I respect. And if you were really all knowing like you claim to be, then why we don't respect you? Why we don't quote you? Why we don't quote none of these Freemasons? Man, come on, man, stop playing. See, you use your information to make a fraternity. That's all you've been doing. You've been using your fraternity, your information, and all you know to gain membership. We give away information freely. Not you. You give information at a cost, membership. Oh, you got to be a Freemason to get the information, don't you? You got to be a Freemason to get the information, don't you? You got to be a Freemason to get the information. You got to be Illuminati to get the success and the information, don't you? Well, if you really had a good heart towards humanity, you would give information freely, now wouldn't you? Good humanity gives away information, especially information, freely. You ain't doing that, are you? Man, come on, stop playing, bro. And like I said before, when the last time you seen a Freemason soup kitchen or a Freemason shelter? We ain't talking about affiliations. Oh, they always affiliated with everybody. No, I said a straight up Freemason soup kitchen, a straight up Freemason shelter, homeless shelter, a Freemason clothing voucher facility. You know why they don't got that? Because they feel like those people that are homeless are not building. They're not building anything. They're not builders. So their philosophy is something wrong with their mind when they're not builders. Ooh. Why the Freemasons won't help the homeless people? Because in their philosophy, they should be builders. They should be building. They're not building. They're not builders. You're not a builder, are you? Well, that homeless guy, I'm pretty sure he's not a builder. I'm pretty sure he's not. He's not a builder. Listen, he doesn't meet your taste. You got expensive taste, don't you? He don't meet your taste, do he? You got expensive taste, don't you? He's not your, listen, that's why you jocking me, you know why? Because listen, you see I have the potential to be a builder, don't you? Yeah, but see, your karma is you treated me like I was non-productive. You judged that part. See, a Freemason gonna say, oh, this person is non-productive. That's the thing about it. That's the first thing somebody that's talking about building all the time. Building organizations, build. That's the free. If you don't know what the Freemasons stand for, or what they think they stand for, it's build. And if you're a builder, you're with us. So the non-builders, you see what I'm saying? It's all about building. It's not about humanity. See, that's why it didn't work. That's why their philosophy didn't work. Because you can't build nothing without properly considering all the dynamics of humanity. Because if you build and these people are crazy, what you gonna do then? That's 7 out. Yeah, that's where you at now, sucker. All these people halfway crazy. Huh? Like Trey Songz say, sitting around halfway crazy. Yeah, you see y'all sitting around halfway crazy, right? Huh? Trey Songz say sitting around halfway crazy in one of his songs back in the day, didn't he? Hey, these people sitting around halfway crazy. How in the world building is going to be the solution? Don't get me started, buddy. Don't get me started. Because your kids, let me tell you something. Your kids don't even know that Africans were brought here through African chiefs selling us into slavery. Huh? That's how you think we got here. Okay, so then Africans sold us out, literally. You know who was the first sellout? African chiefs selling us out to slavery. That's the first sellout, buddy. Well, we were sold out from slavery. That's how it is. That's how it was. That's how it began. You, whether you like it or not, were sold into slavery by other Africans. They the ones that did it to you. And now, you can sit here and paint these other narratives. Because see, when you leave this part out, it paints a narrative like the white man did everything. See, I even know some of these pro-black, especially black Hebrews. Oh, yeah, them right there. That's 7 out. Why the black Hebrews won't tell it how it is? That these African chiefs, the ones sold us into slavery. Because it don't fit their narrative. That the white man did all of this to us. So they gonna leave out the part where by the second part of the transatlantic slave trade, African chiefs were selling our ancestors into slavery. Boy, don't that feel good to you? That's the truth. And you know why your family need to know the truth? I'm gonna tell you why. You know why your family need to know the truth? So they understand it ain't no good race on this earth that's just good by nature, that's just popped up good. We all have the potential to be evil. We all have the potential to be sellouts, killers, and kill each other and kill children and everything else. And black people the same way. They are no exception. Now you listen to these black Hebrews, they gonna have you thinking like beyond black is what the thing to be. They gonna have you thinking black is can't do no wrong. You notice that? You notice the pro-black people don't talk about the wrong black people do they? That's 7 out. They don't talk about it, do they? They act like black people can't do no wrong. And here it is. They the one been wronged. Black people been wronged the whole time, haven't they? Well, you know what is wrong with that narrative? Well, by the second part of the transatlantic slave trade, there was two parts of it. It wasn't one big transatlantic slave trade. By the second part of the transatlantic slave trade, they had it down to a science. You know what that science was? Do you know what that science was? When African chiefs went to war with other tribes and they won, they took their enemies and put them on the slave trade. That's down to a science. The Europeans just took advantage of a slave trade that was set up by Africans. And you know what? Africans in Africa want to apologize. Did you know that? This is how real this is. Africans in Africa talking about apologizing for Africans being put in slavery and sent to America. So if I was a white person, the first thing I tell all these black people, first of all, listen, buddy, you create narratives like we went over there in Africa and just got you and just kidnapped you. You act like that's how you got here in America. Now, at the first part of the transatlantic slave trade, they were seizing Africans. But they had help. And I'm pretty sure, use common sense, they had to have help from some of the locals, bro. That's common sense. How are they going to know everything and everything? You know what I'm saying? How to move and do everything. Think about it. They're going to just come in and seize, and these people are on their land. My thoughts was, okay, militarily speaking, how do Europeans be on the horizon with their ships and you don't prepare for war seeing these ships come in? Europeans coming to Africa to get slaves, right? How Africans ain't gonna see all them ships on the horizon? This is how I know and believe that the African chiefs set up the transatlantic slave trade, because about 2 or 3 times after you seen them boats on the horizon, you ain't gonna be prepared for war and resist them. Why isn't there any history about Africans resisting the Europeans trying to get slaves? There is no history talking about Africans resisting the Europeans who were trying to get slaves. Okay? The main reason why for you as African Americans is because by part 2, where our ancestors came from, the second part of the transatlantic slave trade, they already had it down to a science where the Africans were selling our ancestors into slavery. Now, if you don't want to live with that reality, knock yourself out, buddy. That's the truth. Now, what I want you to do is go find me somebody that paints that narrative. All these people on YouTube, all these leaders, even Farrakhan didn't say nothing about this. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't say nothing. Malcolm X didn't say nothing. Oh, well, show me where they talked about African chiefs bringing Africans into slavery. The prophet is the only one gonna say it. That's why you're supposed to hate me. You know why? Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Boom. Now, if you want to know the truth, you're going to listen to the prophet. If you want to be shucking and jiving and to create your own little narrative, you're going to go with these other people. See, I lose everybody. You know why? Because see, once you realize with humanity the full truth, you ain't going to want to go with that. Because see, it's going to destroy your whole narrative. All your worldviews is messed up now. Because now you realize the African chiefs sold us into slavery. That messed up your whole worldview. That the white man was your enemy this whole time. Well, you wouldn't have got here if it wasn't from Africans. And for me, I incorporate that into my narrative and worldview about this whole situation. And you know what I conclude? It ain't no race of people that won't do you dirty, buddy. It ain't no race of people that won't do you dirty. You know what I ask black people here in America? Because I used to ask questions. If we had power to enslave Europeans and white people, do you think we would have done it? You know what more than one black person told me to my face? We just talking one-on-one. I'm one of them type of people. I like them deep conversations, talking about real life and everything like that, right? So I asked more than one black person, if we had power over white people, over Europeans, to where we could enslave them as our slaves, do you think we would have done that? Obviously, I wasn't educated at that point. You know what they said? I cannot, listen, this is not a lie. This is not fabrication. This is not fabrication or exaggeration. More than one black person told me we wouldn't have done that because we would have had compassion. We're a humble people. We would have had compassion. We wouldn't have enslaved white people. Oh, really? Really? Well, explain the second part of the transatlantic slave trade where African chiefs sold our ancestors into slavery. See, I didn't know that. I wasn't educated at that time, and neither were they. And guess what? The people that I talked to were well more older than me. Could have been old enough to be my parents, the people I was talking to. And they were uneducated, obviously, because they wouldn't think that we would sell Africans, white people, into slavery. We sold our own people into slavery. So if we sold our own people into slavery, we would sell Africans into slavery, and we did that. I mean, white people. We sold our own people into slavery. We would have sold white people into slavery because we did it already with black people. So why we wouldn't sell white people to slavery? Listen, because you have this idea from your masters with the wrong, not the full narrative on who we are as Africans. You ain't got the full narrative. You ain't got the full story. And with half of the story, because I consider it half, not telling the community that we sold our own people to slavery, that's half of the story. Gone. You ain't even know this the whole time. And that's what make you think we so humble. Because you missed that part. That's 7 out. You missed that part where we sold ourselves into slavery. So when you got that part, you realize, hold up, none of us are no good. And that's right. No humanity is no good. That's the conclusion. That's why your children should know. Because you'll say, well, that's irrelevant information. Why should my kids know about this? You know why? So they won't walk around blind to black people. Like they won't do nothing to you. That's how they get played out there in the beginning anyway, till they learn the hard way. You educate them from day one. Ain't no pure good race of people that won't do you dirty. And they kind of see it already anyway. With all the stuff, the crime and everything going on. But you got to give them a little more. You got to give them a little history. Because they'll think that's just going on right now. Feel me? Like it ain't always been like that. Boom, it has though. Okay? You tell them, Africans sold our families into slavery. That's how we got here. Now you see how that feels and resonates. You know what that's going to do to you. It ain't going to necessarily turn you against black people. It's going to show you all humanity cannot be trusted and all of humanity ain't no good. And that's going to come back to the righteous African and how we feel. You watch your back from everybody, and if anybody fights you, you fight them back. Just like your mama told you. And she was telling you that against other black people. You fight them back. And if they go persuade these white folks that you some kind of vigilante against black people, you let them stay on cartoon time. You know you ain't on no cartoon time. Ain't nothing differently happening that hasn't happened throughout all of this humanity of these black people. We've been fighting with each other the whole time. We can't live together, and everybody else can live together but us. Pay attention. We can't live together. I done seen it in my own family. This ain't some worldview somebody put in my head. I've seen it myself. Black family members can't even live with other black family members. You see it in your own family. You see it in your own family. You can't live with no black people because somebody gonna get out of pocket. And check this part. You know who it's gonna be? Usually the person that ain't even paying no bills. The person that ain't even paying no bills gonna come in your house and disrespect you. And you know what? That's why I have these black folks on the streets right now, because ain't nobody gonna have them. They don't know submission. Even when we try to go to war, they don't understand submission. Like right now, I'm a general by results, not some braggadocious general. I'm a general by results. I live with real military. That's what that's what black people ignoring that I live with real military that done real tours in the military. I seen people out here in the streets. I said that in the Metro PC. The guy, he's smiling and smirking like, yeah, right. I mean, well, okay, what? It's hard for you to believe that? It's not very hard to live with military. That's all I said. How's that hard for you to believe, buddy? Because you thought I was an ignorant person. That's what you thought. I was just saying this stuff to be saying it, to intimidate somebody or to install fear in somebody. I'm saying it to you to let you know who I am. That's the difference. It's the difference between me trying to intimidate you or me trying to install fear in you and me telling you who I am so you know who you looking at. So who you know who you playing with. That you ain't playing with no dummy. I live with military. I got respect from people, a Marine that did real tours in Vietnam. I live with a Vietnam veteran. And whether he was on my side or not, I got his respect, which that's all I want anyway. It wasn't like I was going to join his cause anyway. Ain't that the truth? I wasn't going to join his cause anyway. Long as I get my respect, that's all I need. That's a 7 hour. Yeah. I live with more than one military person, buddy. So who you supposed to be is my question. As far as skills and all of that. Because I think you think I'm one of them cartoon dudes that just float around and I ain't never been down around nothing real. You think I ain't been around nothing real, haven't you? Huh? I live with real military that killed people, man. Real soldiers that caught real casualties. They self. Bodies under their belts. And guess what? They didn't go to jail for it. They were celebrated for it. Them type of dudes. Oh, didn't go to jail to get shamed for catching a body. So can you see how that person grew as a person? I didn't go to jail. So I didn't get shamed. I didn't get confined. I killed people and I walked around like I ain't done nothing. In fact, I'm celebrated. In fact, I'm saluted. Huh? Come on, man. Listen, man. Listen, you ain't lived with real Marine and military, buddy, that done real tours and killed people. Okay. They joined the military, but did they do tours? See, you ain't talking to a novice. Some people join the military and they front to the amateurs, like they done tours. You ain't done no tours, buddy. That's 7 hour. Yeah, that part. Yeah. Some of these Marines, listen, it's one thing to steal valor, and then it's also another thing to steal tours. You might have didn't steal valor, right? But then you kind of did. Well, you act like you've been in the war. Okay, we get it. You went through boot camp. We get it. You got trained. Did you go through a war? You didn't. But you're fronting and you're insinuating low key like you did some tours around here. You didn't do any tours, did you? Come on, stop playing, bro. Stop fronting. Tell some of these enlisted military to stop fronting like you done some tours. See, you can play them on amateurs like that. You can put on a little uniform and intimidate these amateurs. I know you ain't done no tours. You ain't done no tours. Neither have you really been affiliated. Some of them done went to the military. Listen, you don't went in and got out. You still ain't lived with nobody that done no real tours, have you? No, you haven't. So you gotta respect the prophet. You see what God done? I lived among real military, buddy. How you gonna put me on cartoon time? That's why I demand my respect. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care if you're from the streets. So what? You know what's greater than the streets? These soldiers that kill people legally. Oh, you can't catch a couple bodies and brag about it for the rest of your life. Sit around and drink and smoke Newports, talking about it for a million years. Huh? You talking about the same bodies you caught back in 95. Romancing and charming everybody with them same stories. Come on, I know how it is. The street dude gonna tell the same stories. That's all of us. You telling them same stories over and over again. The difference is you didn't have no major resistance like these soldiers. And you ain't got the intellectual goods to see me for who I am. A military person does. You think you got intuition. What you think a military person got? They got to walk on the battlefield and hear everything. Got to hear a church mouse. Got to hear a church mouse. You don't think they got no intuition to see who I really am or see who I really was back then? Huh? I done been around military. You think I'm subject to your little rinky-dink opinion? Yeah. See, they not telling you the real rank that I got. I've been around real military. Now you see why I have a problem with these suckers in this building and everything. You ain't no military. You a bum. I done got respect from men that did tours. Now you look like clowns. That's why I do not tolerate it. Sometimes people don't tolerate you because they harder than you. People don't tolerate you because they more hardcore than you. You beneath them. It ain't arrogance. It's not arrogance. You shouldn't. A person like you shouldn't even be putting your mouth on me. And that's not arrogance. It's just a matter of fact. I just have a no bullcrap policy. I have a no bullcrap policy. If you put your mouth on me and you ain't been around no real military, you out of pocket from day one. From day one. That's how I see it. I live with a Marine, right? I live with one. My father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law was Navy. That's two. I live with another Navy military person. That's three. I've lived with a Marine. I've lived with another guy who did tours in Iraq. And I think maybe he was Army. I don't know. But he did tours in Iraq. So definitely one Marine. Another guy did tours in Iraq. At the end of the day, I walked away unscathed. I don't steal glory. I don't steal valor. I demand my respect. You understand me? I've been looked at by military. This person was a Marine. He looked at me and he said, I ain't never met nobody like you. This is a Marine. Because I'm a prophet. That's what it was. I didn't tell him I was a prophet. I was living backsliding. I was partying all the time. Jumping in and out of people's cars. Jumping in and out of cars and everything. Trekking. Going out here trekking. Turning tricks. The Marine taking me to go turn a trick and get a little money. He seen me in action. Going to somebody's house. Turning a trick. Coming out with a little money. This is the Marine. See me in action. Now imagine me being subject to you. See, the truth is, man, and I see why people become a little bit arrogant. I'm not agreeing with it, but once you kind of been around military, street stuff pales in comparison. That's the next level for me. I had to dress all these lanes. That's why I went back down into the matrix of all that stuff. But the truth is, man, I've surpassed those levels by qualification, by being respected by military. How you gonna go backwards to street criminals? They're not taught to kill. They're not soldiers. Some of them are, but most of them are not. So anybody you got out there, half of them in Brooklyn are not soldiers. They're not trained with the full anatomy of a military person, to where they can go and surpass that person's judgment of me that served in the military. A thug's judgment of me is going to surpass this military guy's judgment of me? Absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. Now you see what I'm saying. It's going backwards because you're jealous. Half these black folks was jealous of me. They knew I was living with military. They knew it. They tried to put me in that situation. I came out with respect. They knew what situation I was in. I came out with respect and they couldn't stand it. See, they ain't gonna tell you those parts. When I lived with military and came out with respect more than one time. More than one time. The last place I left, the dude was a military person there. Marine. Oh, he didn't. Well, I seen the sticker on the door. I put two and two together. He probably is a Marine. I already lived with Marine. So it was more than one Marine, actually. But I've lived with more than one person that did tours. Two people at one time. One was a Marine from Vietnam. The other one did tours in Iraq. All in one house. 3 people. Me, a veteran from Vietnam, a veteran from Iraq. I don't see nobody the same way. It did affect me because once I get respect from that, right, I challenged one of them to a fight. This dude did tours in Iraq. I told him to come out to the yard. He was scared. He didn't come out. I challenged a veteran to a fight. You think I'm scared of you? I challenged somebody that killed people in a war. That's what level I'm on, buddy. That's why people respect me. You think I'm fabricated. You think it's exaggerated. You think it's hype. Because black people, the first one gonna think something hype anytime they ain't got no history of it. If they ain't see it, they gonna think it's hype. Or, you want to tell you what the other thing you're gonna do? You're gonna try to challenge it. And listen here, let me tell you something. I'm not up for challenges these days. You understand me? Listen, I'm not. I don't care where you come from. Okay? I already got respect that's better than your respect. Your respect ain't nothing but what? Criminal stuff? At the end of the day, you're just another criminal. These teenage girls are charmed by you being a thug. In 2025, going into 2026, listen, buddy, who's still charmed and infatuated with thug life in 2020, going into 2026? When everybody trying to get money, when everybody trying to get out the hood, who is infatuated with it? I just know what's going on. I just move like I move in the jungle. I'm a jungle man. You understand? And that's what you misinterpret. I lived on the streets. That's why I'm like this. See, people forget that part. I've been a homeless man so many times in Los Angeles. I've been homeless in Los Angeles. You'd be scared to sleep on the streets of LA. Just out of ignorance. That's how amateur you are. You don't even know it, so I can challenge you on ignorance. Where you would be scared at first thought, out of ignorance, to live on the streets of LA. You wouldn't even want to do it. Now you see why I don't take no disrespect. That's why, bro. That's why, man. That's why. I done challenged a military person to a fight. He ain't do nothing about it. Listen, that's not fabricated. He could have came out there. Listen, he tried to save face and told me what he would have done or whatever. Man, come on. Listen, man. Come on. Stop playing. Stop playing with me, bro. Somebody challenged you to a fight. You confronted them first. He finished it up with challenging you to a fight, and then you tell him later, well, I would have did this. I would have. Come on, bro. Come on. And then what make it so bad? You military. You supposed to be jumping up. You supposed to be active at all times. If that makes sense. You supposed to be ready to do something at all times. So you gonna make an excuse to me, and you trained military? Come on, stop playing with me, buddy. Stop playing with me. I even showed military what time it was, man. And I walked away with that. He can't change that narrative. Ain't nothing he can do to change it. That's how it ended. With me challenging military and he ain't doing nothing about it. Now imagine now how you gonna be after that? Letting suckers and bums try you? Not, absolutely not. That's why the dude came through this door. Listen, he was greeted with weapons. He was greeted with weapons. Now you know I don't listen, buddy. That's how it is. See, that's the part they leaving out. That this dude done been moving around living with military. They kind of leaving that out. See, man, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. It's some people that just, if you're not careful, they're corny. They want to paint certain narratives and they clowns, bro. Me, personally, whatever you say you are and what you've been through, I'm going to accept that so I can estimate what's going to happen based on what you said. I'm not going to be in high school like, oh, trying to dismiss somebody. See, there's a certain high school mentality that I explained. They the type of people that dismiss things. You know why they dismissed it? Because they in high school where you got to dismiss dudes in front of the girls, right? To get them girls, you gotta dismiss this dude. You see what I'm saying? Whatever he talking about, you got to dismiss it in order for you to get the girls, right? That's the typical situation. You're going to find other kids assassinating the competition's character, right? We grow up and people still the same way. You sitting up talking about me, putting your mouth on me, doubting what I'm saying just so you can assassinate me and look good to the community. Like on White Men Can't Jump, Sidney said to Billy, Billy said to Sidney, which was Woody Harrelson's position in character. He was Billy. Sidney was Wesley Snipes. He say, Sidney, you do everything. You look good. You look good and win and lose. I look bad and win. You look good and lose. Dancing all around, shucking and jiving. Like Sidney's character, dancing all around, shaking your butt. You lose, but I look good, I look bad to the community and the public for what all you said and all you're doing, but I win. You the type that look good and lose and be fabricating and talking and trying to show out and do all this stuff. But I moved it like this and people think I should do other things. I look bad to them, but I win. You see what I'm saying? That's how it is. That's how it is. I'm always working on something. I'm always doing something now in this war. It's not a game. I've had other military, Navy SEAL. And I done seen him since I got back to New York, which means he probably works for the Americans. That's what it is. But he said in the beginning when I first met him, probably back in 2014, 15, somewhere around in there. He was like, man, about me, don't let the baby face fool you. This man knew something about me that I may at that time didn't even know about myself. No, I'm serious. Because I don't know what made him say that. Because I ain't fight nobody. I ain't try nobody. I ain't really say nothing. You know, I ain't had no conversation that I was upset about the way he seen kind of my mentality. So he just said, man, don't let the baby face fool you. That's what the dude said. You know, and he was a Navy SEAL, from my understanding. If I'm not, he definitely served in the military. But I think he was Navy SEAL. I seen him since he got back to New York. Since I got back to New York, which to me, it could be just knowing people in New York and these systems that we gotta flock to, and you just seen somebody at a system. It could have been that. You know what I'm saying? But it could have been also that person. I think it was because I heard him say under his breath that we lose, so they knew they lost. You know what I'm saying? So that means he worked for the Americans. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of, how I am now, I halfway ignore stuff that like that kind of stuff like that. Well, I still almost be giving people the benefit of the doubt, but Because people ultimately know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Even after they say all of that, they still show a certain amount of respect anyway. So then what you gonna do? They halfway spies and they halfway showing respect. Tricky situation, huh? And in every situation I'm gonna be in, it's always gonna be like that. I'm gonna always get these spies showing respect. Cause you're gonna see it for what it is. I mean, what? You gonna make it what it's not? And then you feel some type of way because people misled you. And I would too. Because you brought me in blind to this person so that I would fight this person blindly. You know what I'm saying? You ain't tell me all that you knew about this person. You know why? Because they knew if you knew everything, like I'm telling you, I live with military and everything like that, you going to have a whole bunch of questions. Like, well, okay, well, why military cleared this dude? Okay, then what we doing here? That's going to be your first question. If you're smart. Okay, well, military cleared this dude. He lived with military. Day in, day out. Okay, so he lived with more than one military person. So what are we doing? What can we do that they didn't do? What can we really see that they didn't see? And keep in mind, that's also what they seen in real time, right? They didn't see any contradictions in real time, right? Come on, man. Come on, bro. That's for your whole community. That's for everybody. Once I got respect for military, I can tell you that's for all of y'all. I already got respect for the military. I don't need you. I don't need you to put your mouth on me at all. That's for the whole American community. That's for everybody. Literally. And listen, it resonates literally, don't it? When I tell you I was living with military, it don't resonate to you that none of these people's opinion matters. No, and that includes police, medical, ambulances, everything else out there. And see, that's how you know you're on top. You know why? Because you're not really subject to nobody's opinion where it makes sense. Well, it ain't gonna make sense. It ain't gonna make sense for me to go backward to your rinky-dink 2 cents opinion when I'd have been around military, living with military. What's your opinion gonna do? Man, stop playing, bro. That's all I'm saying. Now, add that, if you're smart enough, to everything I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm not saying nothing that's based on fabrication or exaggeration, like I like to say. I like to put those 2 words together because they match in most situations. Fabrication and exaggeration. There's no fabrication or exaggeration. That's not how. You live with military, okay, boom. How am I exaggerating? I lived with him long enough for him to see me. Where's the exaggeration? That's all I'm talking about. He seen me for who I was. He gave me respect. That's it. Boom. More than one time. More than one military person. You played with God's people. That's who I am. That's who I am. You play with God's people, man. And that's why it's no mercy. Okay? So that's for you, your little family. All these rednecks, that's for you too. I got respect from real white man military. From Texas. It don't get no better than that, buddy. A Marine white man from Texas. That covers the rednecks. Because they think they got to figure something else out. You know, they kind of like black people with that too. Oh, we got something else to figure out. Black people the same way. We got something else to figure out. What you think you got to figure out, sucker? Huh? Man, stop playing with me, bro. You ain't gonna never fold me or break me. Or make any other narrative that we entertain past that. That's what I'm saying. Cause see, you try to fade me on street stuff, and you ain't gonna fade me on street stuff when I've been around military and got respect from military. You ain't gonna fade me, buddy. Ain't no street person out here gonna fade me. That's what you need to come to terms with. And that's hard for you. You know why? Because you can't see nobody fading them. But they can't fade me. I don't care who can't fade them. They can't fade me. And that's all I'm talking about. In fact, them being faded is irrelevant. We talk about me, right? They can't fade me, bro. Meaning, I don't care who they are. We talking about me, right? They can't fade me, bro. Come on, stop playing. And see, you just don't want to come to terms with the fact you played with a big dog, buddy. That's all. That's all it is. And you ain't gonna make me fit no pee-wee narrative. And that's what hurts you the most. I'm black, I'm a big dog, and you played the wrong game, buddy. Okay? You got played. It happens all the time in the hood. You got played by my brother, right? That's what happened to you. Now you can let him reinforce everything he say. I'm gonna tell you this like you need to hear it. That boy did that for a female. Now if you don't, now consider everything I said I've been around, and add the credibility of that. All these soldiers I've been around, right? I'm not telling you nothing at like a peewee. You know what I'm saying? I know. I know for sure that's what this is about. I'm not telling you that to detour you and just make up some other bogus situation. This was about a woman. This was about a woman. And that's that. And see, right there is whether you want to believe the truth or you feel comfortable with sticking with the narrative that you heard. What you want to do? Because you know what? If you claim to be out here in these streets or you claim to be a human being, you're going to lose all your credibility right there, buddy. You are. Somebody done told you and broke it down. This person have been around the Marine, the military. Man, you got to come to terms with this, and you don't want to do it. It make you sick too. But hey, listen. I don't feel sorry for you because look, as far as I know, a real dude ain't gonna play your position. Like I told you, how you know you black is a black man gonna play your position. A black man ain't gonna play your position. You out here playing with somebody based on what his brother said. That's how we know you weirdos. You don't represent us, and you thought you did represent black people. How we know you ain't black? Because ain't no black man gonna play your position. That's how if you use that for yourself. You want to see if somebody black, you want to see if somebody 100, right? That's females too. They need bums. Would a black man play his position? And sometimes it don't work out for you, and you need to hear the truth. Another black man would have played the same position against you. Yeah. Would a black man play your position as a woman? Would a black woman play your position? Nope. Nope. And that's how you check yourself, little buddy. If a black woman won't play your position, and if you're a man, if a black man won't play your position, you know you done fell off, buddy. You know you're doing something you don't supposed to be doing. And you know how that is, and you know what that's based off of. You know the world views, if you really are black, of what makes you do stuff that a black man wouldn't do, that make you contradict what a black man would do. Or a black woman would do. You know when you done contradicted that, don't you? Yeah, that part. So then how you gonna try to come see me when you doing stuff that a black person wouldn't even do? We wouldn't. And I'ma still beat you. I'm fighting you, but I wouldn't do what you do. See that part? Oh, I'm fighting you back. But I'm not gonna do what you doing. Cause I'm not gonna look like no sucker like that. No matter what. No matter what come with it. No matter if I win or lose. I ain't gonna look like you. And that's what makes me one of the best. Because I played my position. No matter if it looked cool or uncool. And when these people selling out and going along with that other stuff over there, them secret societies, I stayed in my lane. And then I made it. And then people trying to act like they with me. Man, come on, stop playing, bro. That's a 7 hour. Yeah. See, real done went out of style. All this stuff done went out of style. Now everybody flaky and shaky, you know, shucking and jiving. You know what I'm saying? Desperate. That's the better word. Desperate and thirsty. Call it DAT. D-A-T, the abbreviation, DAT. Yeah, that. Desperate and thirsty. Yeah, that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm beyond thorough, bro. That's what I'm saying. You got them lame prison house tests, man. Like I'm stupid. These fellas coming around, bro. You another one, man. I don't care nothing about nobody locked up in prison trying to come see me. Cause what's gonna beat that is military credibility. People gonna blow that right away. You a criminal. He done got certified by military. He done got respected by military. We ain't trying to listen to no criminal talk about some bum. We don't even know if you in your right mind. How we know? You might be bipolar or something, man. We don't trust listen, half of these thugs is bipolar. Half of them. I told y'all that. These people with this crazy behavior, even the person that messed up my door, I guarantee you he's bipolar. And I'm not. And I'm the one that's protecting myself. I'm the one protecting myself, but he the one you see what I'm saying? Playing this position like he live out here slipping. Ain't got nothing on him. That's the kind of black people I'm telling you about. Walking around here all loud, y'all rah-rah. Okay, at least if you're going to be rah-rah, at least be around here with some weapons. You feel me? At least back it up like the old school. Talking and back it up, because that's old school. Old school talking and back it up. I'm cut from that cloth. That's why people don't believe it. Because when you talk a lot, they think that ain't real. Oh, go back to your daddy. Go back to your daddy when he talk all night long and 100. Yeah, that part. Go back to the old school where they talk it in the streets and back it up and beat somebody down and talk junk after that. You just come from a different generation. They ain't the whole man that we used to be, boy. Black men used to come out here and talk they junk and back it up, buddy. Am I wrong about it? Am I wrong about it? Yeah, we ain't sit there quiet and moving in silence. Black men didn't move like that. No. Man, black people talk all the junk they want and beat the person up and walk away, man. That's real. It's just depending on what cloth you cut from. Hey, don't get mad at me because you ain't cut from my cloth. I back up my stuff. That's what got you mesmerized. That's what got you crazy right now. Because I talk all my talk and I back it up. That's right. That's how old school, that's how the original black man was in America. Like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali sit and talk trash to anybody and back it up and beat them up. What's the difference? Muhammad Ali tell you what he gonna do to you and do it. You just, that personality, that persona, that charisma, that kind of level of charisma, man, where people sit back and they say what they say, man, they do what they do. Some people ain't used to it. People ain't used to that no more. That's all it is. But that's the original black man at his best. At his best, he too charismatic to not talk. He ain't too crazy to not talk. He too charismatic. I'm too charismatic to not talk about this. And that's what you expect of a black man. Black man gonna say, man, what's going on? You ain't gonna see no black man just sitting around not saying nothing. He ain't gonna say nothing. What black people you done been around? Where I'm from the South, man, ain't no way in the world black man ain't gonna say nothing about all this stuff. And then you sitting around playing around him and playing around his head and playing psychological games. And y'all marrying children. That's what I'm talking about. And you supposed to see what about me? What you supposed to be trying to see about me? Man, stop playing, bro. Stop playing with me, man. This is how the black men used to talk. Go ask the old school. He gonna say, listen, old school gonna say, I'm good. It's all these young dudes, man. Listen, you running around tiptoeing around these dudes. I'm not. I don't care nothing about it. I take what come with it. And then here's the punchline. God is on my side. That's the punchline right there. Which means you got to proceed with caution. Definitely. Definitely, buddy. And you already know that, don't you? I'm pretty sure you do. So if you don't know, now you know how black men really are. Ain't no black man sitting back letting somebody play with them like these fools playing with me in this building and I don't say nothing about it. You crazy. And what I'm tripping off of, what I'm tripping off of is they around here slipping. They ain't got no weapons on them, and he kicking in doors and open. That's how you know. I'm gonna tell you what that problem was right there. I'm gonna tell you what that was. That's somebody who severely have not been challenged. If you bold enough to break somebody's door and put your hand through the door and open the door, and you don't think nothing's gonna happen to you, I'm gonna tell you what happened. People esteemed you as super crazy, and you got everybody scared of you, and then you met your match. You can't slip around me, buddy. You can't be talking that jazz around me, and then you ain't got nothing on you. You can't play with me like that. That's what I'm trying to show you. And I'm still a man of God. Yes, I am. But I'm a man. Keep man. Not a boy of God. Not a boy of God. You thought I was a boy of God, didn't you? Not a man of God. You thought I was a boy of God, didn't you? They didn't treat you like you're a boy of God. Oh, he's a boy of God. Don't go ahead. He's a boy of God. No, I'm a man of God. You understand? And if you have not learned the art of incorporating manhood in your Christianity, listen, hey, I don't know what to say to you. It's an art. It's an art. It's an art. Eventually, as a man, you're gonna refine yourself as a man of God, and you ain't gonna be you're gonna live by the word of God, and you're gonna be a man. You're gonna find that place where you good with God, moving like this. And if you ain't doing that, I question your manhood, because your manhood should just be robust, where God gotta say, okay, not that, keep that, but not that. Okay, you good now. Okay, boom. Now you a man of God. That's why they run to Muslims and Islam, because ain't no men in the church. All these weak men. And they go to Islam because men are masculine in Islam. You go to the Christian church, half of them look gay. You know, and God ain't gave them that persona. They've been taught by white American Christianity, where you supposed to walk around docile all the time, like you ain't got no manhood, like somebody can just step on you. That's what I'm saying. That's why, man, listen, I definitely believe in carrying weapons. I definitely believe in that. And if you ask anybody that ever interacted with me, were they convinced by the time they left that they could play with me? I guarantee you they wasn't. I guarantee you they wasn't. So it don't matter what people say. We know how black people are. They gonna be yapping. See, that's them right there. You think you got something on me? You think you got a contradiction? Come on, stop playing, bro. You ain't got no contradiction on me. Y'all contradict yourself too much to play in my lane. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I already lived with military. Point blank, period. You ain't gonna change that. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what you think. See, what they tripping off of, you can't get in. You can't get in. So all you can do, listen, you can bring up a couple fights or whatever, but you know what's gonna happen when you bring that up? I'm gonna show you the whole thing. Where I got jumped and the one dude couldn't even handle his own fight. So how he won? Somebody got to fight for you. I automatically won. Only thing black people gonna talk about when I got jumped. Okay, first of all, people gonna already say I won. You got jumped? Okay, well then that's more than one man. What I supposed to do? Be Chuck Norris and fight two men? So that's what I'm just thinking about just now. And they think they triggered on that like they won. Man, please. I'm going to tell you like Nas said, Negro, please. Negro, please, bruh. That's how lame they are. They waiting for a little contradiction. That ain't going to stop me. That's not going to stop me. Two dudes jumped me and some of these black people think they won. How you won? Two dudes jumping me. One dude couldn't even handle his own fight. He had to have somebody else jump in for him. Listen, I'll tell you one thing. I ain't never had a man fight for me. And I sit back and watch for a little bit. Yo, these dudes jumped me. One dude, I offered him to a fight, right? Right? This dude, he gonna have somebody else. He gonna stand there and watch somebody else fight for him. Where I'm confused. Because I know this other dude is the one I want to fight, right? How you gonna have, let's sit there and wait for somebody to fight for you and you don't step back and say, yo, that's my fight, mano a mano. So how you won? See, you think you know what you know, man. And I'm telling you, black people like y'all get smoked all the time. You know why? Because you doubt people. You doubt people and get smoked. That's what happened. I'm going to tell you how you need to hear. You don't listen. God knows who I am, buddy. God knows who I am. And listen, If you have not been clarified, if you have not been solidified by military, listen, bro, you down there with the street people. That's it. I'm above that, whether you like it or not. You could think you can find a contradiction. All I'm saying up here is seeing my own situation for what it is and going through and analyzing it. They just try to trigger on that, making sound campaigns outside the door like I'm stupid. Like as to say you won. How did you win? Talk about it intelligently. Man, you retarded, bro. Come on, stop playing with me, man. Man, I'm convinced. I'm telling you, from these lame Freemasons and Illuminati members, the mind readers, I'm convinced it's a type of lame, retarded, right? That they think because they can read minds, and I'm smarter than all of them, really. I'm smarter than most of them. This is the thing you don't know about reading people's mind. If you're not smart, right, you don't know what I'm actually thinking. If you're a dumb mind reader, because I know you thought because you read minds, you were smart. But if you're a low IQ mind reader, right, you're not really that smart, right? You just got something going on, right? Doesn't mean you're smart. You know what that means? You're not going to be able to see what my thoughts really mean. And listen, that's how I bodied all of these people. I just pulled their card. I just showed you what they did. So how am I not smarter than them? They sitting out there talking outside the door. Buddy, listen, please. I done been around a Marine. I done been around real military. That little mind reading stuff, I figured it out. If you're not smarter than me, then you ain't gonna know how to read my mind. Because you're gonna see all this stuff and you think you see contradiction. And when I explain it, right, just like I explained that fight, right, I'm just going through that in my mind. They thought that was a contradiction. That's how much smarter I am than you. Me and you are not the same. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a telepath or a psychic or none of that. I'm a prophet. I pull your card every time, buddy. Like I said, bro. Like I said, these dudes around here, and that includes them, out here with no weapons. I don't care about this building. If you playing in my lane, I don't care if you work here. I don't care if you live here. I have the same attitude with you and the people that live here. That's me. I don't let my guard down for nobody. No, sir. Because I already know the position you're playing. I already know that. But you, listen, you a non-factor. Like Evelyn say on Basketball Wives. I don't watch that no more, but you a non-factor, man. You a non-factor. That was one of her best lines on the whole show, wasn't it? You a non-factor. She told Erica she a non-factor. Listen, man, you a non-factor, bruh. Let me tell you something. How you factor into my situation? Huh? When I leave here, that's the end of you. That part. And your opinion. It's the end of you and your opinion. How you factor in? How you factor in? And I just pulled your whole card? Come on, man. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing. I know black people can't resist fame without trying to get some for themselves, huh? That's all it is. You don't care nothing about what's going on. All you're trying to do is incorporate yourself in these last days when it's almost the end of the world. You try to incorporate yourself into a famous situation. To the end, to the very end, black people clout chasing, ain't they? Yeah, that part. These black folks clout chasing to the end of the world. You should be off clout chasing. Clout chasing gone. It ain't gonna be no more fame. It ain't gonna be no more doors open. That's what I'm about to start talking about. Doors of destiny closing. That's how we gonna shut down a lot of fake Christians too. You know how? All these people talking about destiny. All these people talking about destiny, right? Well, here's my thing. If it's not actually 20 more years left in the world, if it's not 20 more years left in the world, how can you say you're going to do something in 20 years and it ain't 20 years left in the world? At some point, when it's the last days, the doors of destiny is going to close because God ain't going to speak through somebody to tell somebody else in 20 years you're going to do something. God know it ain't 20 years left. And you know what I mean? God knows he's not letting the world go on 20 more years. So then how are you actually speaking? Through the Holy Ghost. How? How are you speaking through the Holy Ghost? Because it's not 20 years left. So all these people begin to prophesy lies and talk about destiny, and you gonna be doing this, and this season you gonna be doing that, and this stuff is. But at some point, right, if it's not a lot of time left, how is that accurate? So that's why I already shifted. I don't talk about destiny no more because it's not a lot of time left. I don't know how much time it is left, but every time I hear about destiny and doors opening and things happening, it don't resonate with me at all because it don't seem like it's a lot of time left. So I'm gonna be talking about that. People talking about doing stuff. Listen, this is for black people too. Ain't a lot of time to do anything else while you're clout chasing. Yeah, clout chasing. How much longer you think you're gonna be here, buddy? How much longer you think you're gonna be here? You clout chasing. How long you gonna? So you think you got a 10-year plan? You see what I'm talking about, right? Wow. Other people, we over here in soldier mode, not survival mode, soldier mode. We in a whole different mentality to you. You clout chasing. And you're gonna become casualties very soon because look, it's no room for it. You missing certain angles, right? And you lose your life. You become a casualty because you was out here clout chasing, and you thought that was the thing to do. You thought that was the thing to do, to be out here clout chasing for money and for fame and everything. And people done got so dangerous that when you try to do it, and you don't catch all the angles, you don't keep your head on the swivel, guess what happened to you? You become a casualty out here clout chasing. That's what happened to you. That's what already happened to them. As the Freemasons, Illuminati, they came out here clout chasing, bro, messed up the whole community. That's what happened. But they supposed to try to see me now. That's what I'm saying, bro. They, based on how they are astroturf, right? They, back to what I said earlier. They astroturf, right? How astroturf that done messed up all the community. How you out here still trying to see somebody, bro? That's what puzzles me. No, I'm serious. How they out here down the stairs and around this room, you trying to see me, right? But y'all done messed up the whole community. Won't you have a seat, bro? That's what it's called. Have several seats. You're not here anymore. You're not here. Okay? We don't care what you're talking about. The world is over. We got real wars. But just like an ignorant black person, you're going to be paying attention to other little stuff, trivial stuff, while we paying attention to the big stuff. That's how it is. Look what their mind is on. Oh, trying to trigger me about a fight, whether I won or not. Well, somebody else said I won. Well, somebody else said it. Well, because I ain't never seen nobody in my life. I ain't never have another man fight a fight for me. I'm gonna say, hold up, no, I got this. I done seen another dude. I done been with another dude that went to school with 50 Cent, right? Yeah. So this dude went to high school with 50 Cent, so of course he was a little older than me, right? He seen me. This dude put his hands on me in public. This is what I'm talking about, manhood. This dude put his hands on me. Not the dude I'm talking about. Another person. He put his hands on me in public. The dude that went to school with 50 watched me beat this dude down by myself. We ain't jump him. No, he let me handle my business. He sat back and watched. That's how the old school is. I didn't ask for his help at all. I went to work by myself. One of the best fights of my life. So I got somebody that, whether you think whatever, I got somebody that can vouch that I can fight. Not just pull weapons. Oh, I can fight. My hand was so messed up, I had to go to the hospital. That's how messed up my hand was. I thought it was broken. Okay? I'm not bragging about it. It's like sometimes, man, this is a matter of, in these cases, man, in these last days, I'm telling you how it is. It's a matter of you defending yourself as a man and stop playing games with these people. And you got to learn also the art of doing that without being carnal and without getting caught up and hopefully not going to jail. You know what I'm saying? So that's because that's what, you can't be a pushover. You know what I'm saying? You can't be. God didn't make you to be a pushover. See, that's why they think they can even try me. That's why, because they used to American Christians. That's what it is. They used to American Christians. I'm a Middle Eastern Christian, which means I don't go by the full world views of American Christians. I believe in the full Bible. Okay, so man, that stuff right there, man, we don't care nothing about that. That's literally noise and nothing else. They can't ever trigger me. They standing right there. I think they stand at the steps trying to wait to come in and try to trigger somebody. Man, them lames, man. That's a cartoon, bro. Do you respect that for what? Respect it for what? What can we do with it? We can do nothing with that. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna try me. So what can we do with it? You can't go on and think you can try me. That's not gonna work. So what? So what else is there? What else is there? What else is there? Ain't nobody gonna try me, buddy. Okay? All you're trying to do is instigate yourself into the equation, and I promise you, on everything I love, you're not in my equation. You too sucker and lame. They go for the females in this building too. Don't think I miss you. Now listen, buddy, if you play in my lane as a female, listen, you playing yourself. You can't see me, buddy. And I don't care what you do. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. Okay? You uneducated. First of all, your first lack of education is education on me. Okay, so you lack education. You're uneducated. You're ignorant concerning me. I can be your worst nightmare right in this building. You don't want that kind of smoke, man. I'm telling you. Man, woman, or child. That's what I'm saying. People know, man. Come on, man. Listen, man. You try to do what you can like a sucker gonna do. You try to do what you can, don't you? Now let me come down there. Ain't nobody gonna try me. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. So what would you think? Man, come on, man. It's a lost cause. That's what it is. It's a lost cause. Because I come up and I see what people want to do. I'm that type of personality. If you don't want to do nothing, man, listen, man. Whatever that is over there, it doesn't equate to the man I am. It ain't nowhere near me if you can sit back and be about nothing and do nothing and say nothing. I put your whole community in check. I put your whole community in check. African Americans running around here don't even know that they community African chiefs sold them into slavery. Half of you probably ain't even know that. Black people have sold other black people into slavery and act like the white man did it. Act like, man, listen, so what we gonna do? Act like who's tougher when I'm a better quality of whole person than you? Well, you ain't talked about it. Your family don't know nothing about it. I guarantee you, your mom and your daddy don't even know your country been marrying children in America. I bet your mom and daddy don't even know that. Your mom and dad don't know, do they? But you supposed to be the next generation. But your mom and them don't even know this information. Your aunts don't know this information. Your uncle don't know this information. Huh? That's why I don't listen, man. I beat you with information. You can't even get to a conflict because I listen, I make your whole generations of your family look like slaves. Like y'all don't even know nothing. Well, show me somebody in your family that knew the United States of America was marrying children, which is very important. Show me somebody in your family that told you Africans sold Africans into slavery, not the white man. He didn't sell us into slavery. Africans sold us into slavery. Show me somebody in your family that taught you that. So between those two things, how you think, whatever you're doing, mind reading, how you think that's going to equate to the caliber of man I am? It's all about information. It's all about knowledge. And you don't have it, do you? No, you don't. So how you the man I am? Because you can read a mind. And you can't even do that right. You can't even do that right. What? Because you just said a little something and did a little sound campaign, you think it make it true? What you saying? Your narrative is true about me? It's not. It's not. I'm still here. I'm still the same live dude I am. I'm still a soldier. You can't, and that's how you know you can't be faded. Because when you get done talking, I'ma still be 100. I'ma still be the dude. Well, you can think whatever you want. I ain't never met no soldier and no street dude who they ain't called a sucker. You can go online and find every person you respect and they gonna call them a sucker, particularly black people. You can go through the list. Snoop, Birdman, Master P, you name them. All the people y'all respect from the streets. All of somebody you can find something with somebody saying all kind of crazy reckless stuff about it. But at the same time, guess what, buddy? You ain't gonna say nothing to you, ain't gonna do nothing, are you? So then how do we really know? How do we really know when you don't do it the right way? How do we know? You can't go mano a mano with me. So how we ever gonna know? Come on, man. You see what happened to the last dude that came through my door? Did he tell you what happened to him? Huh? Listen, man. He was greeted with weaponry, buddy. See, that's why real black men will respect me, buddy. Cause I ain't gonna tell you how to be a boy. I'm gonna tell you how to be a man, and I'm gonna show you the art of being a man and a man of God, not just some patsy person that they can play with. This is why this went this far, because they think they now getting the real understanding. You can't play with a man of God. Now you getting that, but you know why you didn't think that? Because of all these other examples of weak men in our community, where you can play with them and nothing comes out of it. That's what made you think you could play with me. It had to be that way. It had to be that. Because if you had an example like mine, you would never think that you could play with me. You wouldn't think that, because you would see too much going on. Nobody don't even want it no more. You say you trying to save face. Nobody don't want to smoke with me, man. I know that. You know why I know? Because of the results I have. I know they don't want to smoke with me. So I know you just, at the end of the day, you trying to save face for whoever. I don't know. It's for you, your community, your organization, whoever. But it ain't going to work, buddy. You know why it ain't going to work? Because everybody going to come back to show and tell. Real results. That's all we going to come back to. And you ain't got none, do you? Come on, man. See, that's why nobody takes a person that's talking seriously because of you, not because of me. They take me seriously because I back mine up, right? You the one started the trend when nobody takes people seriously. Because you talk from a distance, right? But you ain't gonna never confront me, bro. You ain't built like that. You ain't built like that no day of the week. You can say it's not your style. It was never be your style. That's why you perfect for the cowardly position that you in. Like I said, a black man would never play your position. Not a black man of my caliber. Not a black woman of the highest caliber. They would never play your position. You ain't my rivals, man. You lames. I tell your mama you a lame. You a lame to me, man. Ain't no way in the world you think you can compare to me. And I ain't saying that out of just a mere empty insult. That's based on how you moving. Well, you ain't out. Listen, a black person ain't used to seeing, I hate to say it, man, you know what it is? You ain't used to seeing people smart. You ain't used to seeing a smart black man. That's what it is. I'm just as smart as you. All that little stuff they doing outside this door, you challenging a black man because you think I'm stupid. That's what it is. That's how I see it. Well, how come I called them on everything they doing and I'm still here? I'm not going to be faded by that, man. Come on, man. You can't be serious. You can't be. Because I know, listen, I know I have the same ability. I know it's a higher level than that. Oh, mind reading, psychological stuff, or being able to hear thoughts. Many spiritual people will tell you we could do the same thing. I could have been said that. But it ain't important. So what you do, I could do, right? But it's not important. You know what's important? Spiritual results, spiritual manifestations. If you don't manifest nothing, listen, you just another ignorant black person talking and running out of time. That's all. I'm going to address who around me. It's not racism. I'm going to address who is around me. If it's black people, it's black people. That's what it is. If it's white people, I'm going to address white people. If it's Hispanic and Latinos, I've been in a Hispanic and Latino neighborhood, I'm going to address Hispanic and Latinos, whoever it is around me. Because if you don't know how to hear or understand what's going on, right, you'll think, just like they try to paint, he's saying something about black people. I'm saying something about who here. I'm saying something about whoever is out here. Acting like they won't smoke, but we know that's not true. We know that's not true. I'm telling you, man, listen, bro. You don't want to anger me, bro. You don't want to do that. Because when you want me to calm down, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, man. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's why I'm perfect for this situation. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for this situation. Because them type of people right there, man, listen. I eat that for breakfast, man. That's brunch. That's brunch. I've been through a million people like them. Running around, reading people's mind, and ain't nobody gonna give you credit for nothing. What you gonna get credit for? We can do it too, keep in mind. The high-ranking spiritual people on God's side, we can see, hear thoughts, right? So we can do it too. But that's all you can do. You're a one-trick pony. All they can do is, listen, with these Illuminati and Freemasons, all they gonna do is repackage mind reading over and over again. Am I right or wrong? All they doing is repackaging it, repacking all of it. That's all they're doing. They're repackaging it over and over again. In the stores, in the buildings, all it is mind reading repackaged. That's all. Now, what are they doing in the real world? According to their plans, it's nothing going as they planned, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. They overbuilt themselves, man. They finally found somebody, like I said, man, half these dudes is unchallenged, and they another one. They unchallenged when it comes to spirituality. Now you find somebody that is way a whole different world more spiritual than you. And you know why what I base that on? Spiritual manifestations. You ain't got no manifestations. You ain't got nothing you can show people on paper. I got plenty of stuff I can show people on paper that they will believe was a result of me playing my spiritual position. Now show me what y'all got on paper. Show me what you got on paper. You can't, man, come on, man. Listen, man. Listen. Ain't no way in the world I'm entertaining people like that. That time is over. That time is over. They can't even get a second of my time. You can't. I don't take you seriously, bro. As long as you don't say nothing out of pocket to me. Listen, that's it. That's how I keep it. Because I know exactly what type of ignorant people they are, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as long as they don't say nothing to me, listen, I'm on my way out of here anyway. This building is infested with mind readers. That's what I'm talking about, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. These mind readers, these secret society people, Freemasons, Illuminati, they put them in this building all around me and everything. Yeah, that's what they did. They think I'm stupid. That's why I'm telling them I'm way more smarter than them. Well, I know everything they're doing. I'm stupid, but I know what they're doing. Make that make sense for us. Okay, and listen, you should know if I know, I'm a lot more dangerous than you realize. Huh? I'm a way lot more dangerous than you realize. I'm not playing with you, buddy. And that go for women too. I don't care. How I see it these days, if you play in a man's lane and you think it's a game, listen, don't doubt me, doubt yourself. Like I like to say, I don't care if you doubt me. I got results. Listen, you can say I'm fake all day and look at this community. Look at this community. Look at everything that's happening. And you can say I'm fake all day. You think a grown man like me gonna lose any sleep worried about that? You can't see me, bruh. That's what I'm saying. That's why we getting revenge. We getting revenge for this whole position they got in this building. They think, listen, they don't think we gonna challenge that. You know how we gonna challenge it? We're gonna destroy spiritually more of this community that put this whole situation together. Yeah, man, listen, bro. Listen, I beat these people long time ago. And you ain't gonna win fighting me in some isolated time now. If I beat you 1,000,000 times, you just got to beat me one time. When I done caught your country guilty of the very thing that you insinuate against us, which is y'all marrying children, right? That's more than the thought, right? But you just got to get a thought on me. You see how that sounds? Listen, buddy, listen, man. Listen. I'm sorry you ain't do nothing with your pathetic life. But I've been all around this country. I lived in California. I lived everywhere. Oh, it matters. It matters to the real winners. It matters to the winners. To the winners, it matters. You lived in California. You lived all these, and these local losers thinking they can see me. What? For what? Because you from New York? But you scared to go to California, L.A., so you ain't the man I am. And if you're a woman, you ain't the adult that I am because you scared to go to California. So all you doing is trying to act like you can beat me in one little environment, and ain't nobody, a boss man can't be beaten in one environment. You can't beat no boss man in no one environment. You got to do a lot of stuff out here to beat me. But a lame gonna think he can line me up in a room and have people running around like Mickey Mouse and think I can lose like that. Man, come on. You don't want to see me, bro. I promise you don't want to see me. You ain't gonna beat me in no one situation. What? That's how we know they ain't black. They ain't black in their head. What black person gonna think they gonna win me? And I done beat them 1,000,000 times a year. I'm not depressed. I'm not suicidal. I don't have any anxiety. I'm not worried tonight. I'm winning tonight. Keep in mind, I'm winning tonight. Pretty sure everybody feels that way. Everybody feels that way, don't they? Everybody feels I'm winning, don't they? Right. Now imagine me, just with that being said, imagine me highly esteeming their opinion and I'm winning tonight. So you see what they became? Lames. Sitting back spectating like the player haters used to. You the modern day player haters, ain't you? You 2026 player haters, ain't you? Hey, they the 2026 player haters, ain't they? Well, you know how it goes, right? Don't nobody love, listen, ain't nobody got love for no player haters, bro. So everybody feel I'm doing the world a favor to get rid of you. That's why they ain't got no problem with these secret societies getting swept under the rug. See, you know, listen, I know the real politics where the community want to get rid of you. Oh, you ain't think I knew? Yeah, the whole community waiting for you. You in trouble, ain't you? That's why you're running around here now. Because the whole community want to get rid of you. You ain't think I knew? That's how you know I can see thoughts and hear thoughts too. You know what I heard in the spiritual world? Listen, as a Christian, you know what I heard? In the spiritual world, the community want to get rid of the Illuminati. They want to get rid of these people. But yet they running up here. Now you see what I'm talking about. Come on, bro. Listen, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I said what I needed to say. Like I said, I'm going to make part 2 on this. Because this is going to be, I'm going to talk about, I got to go more into the matrix of talking about fasting and giving offerings against the Americans. This right here is against this whole community. The whole thing. Fasting that I do is against this whole community. Okay? Listen, if you sit back and play with it and have alliance with these people and think it's some hope, it's no hope. You just got to get in the mindset of a warrior that you're just going to war and don't let them get you off of it. See, they're going to come and try to get you off of it. No, you stay right on it. You stay right on it. They are the enemy. We going to war by spiritual means. The reason why the FBI can't come see us and CIA or the police or whoever or the government, the reason why they can't come see, I'm a real official, bro. I'm real. I'm real. Listen, I'm sending money to different countries. These are bums over here. And I'm not talking about financially. In your soul, you're a bum. I'm sending money to other countries. What they doing over here? Nothing. On their phone watching stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So look, man. We fasting against these Americans as Christians. We're giving offerings against these Americans as Christians. And listen, they've been against us. Wake up. So why would you care what they feel? Why would you care how they feel? I'm trying to show you the real season you live in. You know what I'm saying? In these last days, we have no alliance with the Americans. None. We don't have no alliance with them. That's how you need to hear it. We don't have no alliance with the Americans. When we fast, this is the hardest thing to get people past in spirituality. When we fast, as a Christian, we fast against the Americans, not fasting for things to get better. We're in the war, right? Okay, so religious people are not in the war. They're not in the war. Religious people are not in the war, right? We are. We are in the war, right? Okay, settle that. If you go listen to the religious people, they're not in the war. We're in the war, right? So, what are you going to do in the war? In the war, what you going to do? You're going to use your spiritual weapons against the opponents, okay? The Americans became, with their free will, goofy people that used their free will to go to war with us and expected nothing to happen. And God will confirm this to you. All you got to do is pray. All you got to do is seek the Lord, and He gonna show you this whole community. Now, I'm not literally talking about every single person, but the majority and the culture is against God's true people, not the people they can manipulate, that's hanging out with the celebrities and hanging out with the gay people. No, they manipulate it. They good. We ain't talking about them. We talking about those who do not get along with these gay and lesbian people, and we don't rock with them at all. Okay, we became the enemy. Now you get it. They began to gang stalk Christians that do not hang out with gay and lesbian people. And we're verbal about the word of God and what it says. Okay, that comes back to manhood. I'm going to say, listen, what I eat shouldn't make you fat. This is for me. What I eat shouldn't make you fat, buddy. I'm living for God on my own. I mean, I'm living for God for me. And the next thing another Christian eating shouldn't make you fat. And what I'm tripping off of, they won't play around no Muslims. These gay people won't play around no Muslims. No, they won't. They ain't gonna say nothing to the Muslims because they know it's gonna get real and escalate real quick. They ain't gonna play with no Muslims, so I don't take you seriously. Because Muslims hate you probably more, some people would say. If you think Christians hate you, these Muslims hate you probably double that. They look at you with disgust. At least we don't do that, You look at some of these Muslims, they look at you with complete disgust, man. But you ain't gonna say nothing to them, are you? Nope, you ain't gonna challenge that, bro. I promise you ain't gonna challenge these Muslims because you don't know what's gonna come out of them. You don't know if they're gonna spin the block about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that. You don't know that. So that's why I don't halfway take them seriously. They're the main reasons. Everybody want them, and I know it. Everybody want the Illuminati dead. Everybody want the Freemasons dead. We put it in God's hands. I ain't inciting nobody to go out here and physically kill them and shoot them because we ain't got to do that. We gonna let God do it. And that's what they scared of that. That's what they scared of. And they scared of what God gonna do to them. Because you done played the wrong position. So that's why I just be laughing at them. That's how you know I'm real, man. I be laughing. How lame gonna be laughing at you? It's just not. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know because you're not real. Listen, a lame ain't gonna be laughing at nobody. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be spooked and scared. You can't scare me, buddy. He gonna be spooked and scared. Listen, a man my age, I don't get scared of death. I'm not afraid to die. That's the full package. I talk like I talk, and I'm not afraid to die if all else fails. But I'ma survive. You feel me? That's your mentality. But I ain't afraid to die. Definitely not. I don't live my life. They came to me too late. Like, they came to me, them secret societies came to me when I was like, what, in my late 30s? I already lived my life. A real one already lived his life in his late 30s. I'm in my 40s. You ain't depriving me. In other words, you're not depriving me of real life. I already lived it. I already had my fun in the sun, buddy. So you came to me too late. Now, if I was in my 20s, then you would be depriving me of life. You know, I'm in my 40s. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm halfway through my 40s almost. You know what I'm saying? So, like, imagine me being afraid to die. I done lived my life, sucker. Only a young man scared to die because he ain't done nothing. That's why the young man is afraid to die, because he ain't done nothing yet. I didn't go to LA. I didn't go to California. I can't die because I didn't go to Las Vegas. I can't die because I didn't go to Florida. I didn't eat real spaghetti before I died. I can't. I didn't eat real authentic Italian spaghetti before I died. I can't die. A young man gotta do stuff. That's why he's scared to die. He ain't done nothing. He ain't had no kids. He ain't seen life come into the world. I was in the delivery room with my wife, my ex-wife. I seen my son born, cut the umbilical cord, cut the cord, all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen my son born, coming out the womb, everything. Listen, once you see that, that's the best day, one of the best days, if not the best day of your life. That's the best day of my life. You know what I'm saying? So I already know, listen, you talking to a fully grown man, that's how you know. You know what I'm saying? Because a grown man gonna tell you, listen, you can't kill me. I already done live my life. You can only kill a man that ain't never lived. The man that already ready to live, he ain't ready to die, but you can say he waiting on it. You know, real men understand what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we done seen what life is and what it consists of. We done had our fun, you know. And so what's left? We just waiting, living out life at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you ain't enjoying your life, but come on, at a certain point, you get old, now you living. You know, you enjoying you're enjoying life how you can, but your best days, your young years, you already done lived out. Let's put it like that. And so then you become harder, actually, because now you can dedicate yourself to hardcore stuff like me. You know what I'm saying? Because you listen, you don't care about putting your life in jeopardy. You know, you don't put a kid in the world and everything like that. So now you got something to die for. Now you got something to live for and die for at the same time. How about that? Simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? I'm educated. I'm an educated black man. You can't see me. Just tell your black community that African chiefs sold Africans into slavery, and stop painting these narratives like the white man just went over there and got us. Why don't you tell them the truth? That black people sold black people into slavery. That's what I want to hear. You know what you need to be talking about? How we got sold into slavery by other Africans. Why don't you go tell your family the truth? Sitting around halfway goofy, that's what I'm saying. That's how you know they goofy. Why don't you go tell? Won't you Americans? Won't y'all tell these black people? Because I know y'all know that Africans sold Africans into slavery. White people know this. I ain't no sell out. Your own people sold you out. That's how we got here. You got here from sellouts. They sold you out to the white Americans. They sold you out to the Europeans. You got sold out to the boat and across the water. Okay? Now show me a pro-black person that's painting a real narrative. That's all I'm asking. Show me a black guy. You can't. Malcolm X didn't do it. MLK didn't do it. They told you about black Africans selling Africans into slavery. Africans selling Africans into slavery. Nope. Nobody did it. Nobody did it. Nobody. Show me somebody that did it. And that's the difference between the prophet and everybody else. You can't show me one black man, one pro-black man in your community that painted the right narrative that the Africans were sold into slavery from the Africans. That's how they got here in America. That's all we talking about right here, right now and here. All these people got here because of African kings selling their enemies that lost wars into slavery. But yet you say the white man been doing this and doing that all this time and this, that, and the third about the white man. Won't you mention the black man or the African in the same narrative, in the same story? You ain't gonna do it, right? You know why you ain't gonna do it? Because you're trying to paint a certain narrative and you think we're stupid. You're trying to, because I know many of these pro-black people know. You know this information. But why you ain't putting it in the information? Why you ain't putting it in the timeline? But you'll go all the way back to the transatlantic slave trade, but you won't revisit the information that you know that the Africans sold Africans into slavery. You'll go all the way back to the transatlantic slave trade and won't say nothing about that. That's all I'm talking about, buddy. That's all I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. Now, imagine you the only person that's talking about this, and now imagine some lames putting pressure on you. Now you see what I mean, and you can see I'm not being arrogant. Half of their family don't even know this. You found out about slavery from the movies, from Roots. That was your first idea of slavery, was Roots. Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte is how you found out about slavery. Bruh, really? Really? You found out about slavery from Kunta Kinte, bro? Did they show you the full narrative of how Africans, did you leave away feeling Africans sold Africans into slavery and that's how it all happened? You didn't walk away with that feeling, did you? You know what feeling you walked away with? The same narrative that everybody else is producing, that the white man did that to you, that the white man went over there and got you. That's basically the insinuation. But the truth, you want to know the truth? The prophet gonna tell you the truth. Africans sold other Africans into slavery. That's how it happened. That's how it happened, buddy. Now, won't you go tell your family the truth? Won't you go tell your children so they won't get bamboozled at a young age, thinking black people love everybody, so they'll have their guard up properly with everybody? Won't you tell them the truth? You ain't gonna do it, are you? Because you want to listen, even to your children, you want to paint this narrative like the white man did all this to you. But the truth is, black people are 50%, Africans are 50% responsible for all the whole situation. Some will say more than that. But I'm going to be generous and just cut it in half, 50-50, right? I guess you could say that. But most people going to say 70% because Africans set up the slave trade. The 30% is me taking advantage of it, or the white man taking advantage of it. Well, how he gonna take 50% of the blame? Can't really say that. You see what I'm saying? That's like 30% to a quarter. But you set up the whole slave trade. You went and got the slaves. You beat them in slave. You beat them in war. You put them in slavery. You put them on the slave trade. You put them on the slave trade. You got to take 70% of the blame. It was too much effort. You went to war with them, then you took them, and then you put them on slavery, and you took them. And show me one man that's painted that narrative as it is. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna tell you the white man did all this to you. They're gonna tell you the white man started this. How he started? In fact, slavery is, for educated people, slavery happened all around the world. In every continent there was slavery. Slavery happened everywhere. And you know who started this slavery right here? Africans. That's who got you. That's why I'm here. You know why I'm here? By other Africans. And they don't make you feel some type of way a little bit. Nah, keep it 100. And then you see how they act right now. Put that all together. I'm just being 100. We sold each other to slavery, and look how we are now. That'll make you feel some type of way. Like, I don't want them to do it half of these people, man. I'm just keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna say the prophet gonna say what you feel, but you ain't got enough courage to say it. I don't want to deal with nobody, and that ain't hurting you. I'm not a narcissistic person. It shouldn't hurt you that I don't want them to do. How's it stopping you? You living your life. You doing what you do. I'm not stopping you by not having nothing to do with you. That's how you know I'm not narcissistic. If I'm narcissistic, I'm gonna act like if I don't have nothing to do with you, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna be the same. I'm not saying that necessarily. That's how you know I'm in my right mind. Listen, buddy, listen. I'd rather be alone. That's how I like it. I'd rather be alone, buddy. And that means from a distance, too. Nobody around from a distance and none of that. Nah, come on. Use common sense. You already know why, man. And I ain't gonna flirt with it. You know, you playing games, I ain't gonna flirt with it. See, some people, these young generations, they set up all kind of diva games and be beefing with people. Man, listen, I'm not no beef person. I ain't no beef person to sit up and go back and forth with especially suckers that I know ain't producing the kind of information, because a real man is all about information. You ain't nothing without information. You got to learn to write and read and speak a language. Now, if you think about it, if you did none of that, which is information, what would you be? You wouldn't even be able to talk. Information is everything. You wouldn't even be able to communicate. I wouldn't be able to communicate if I ain't learned to read and talk. I wouldn't even be able to. That's how you know I'm in my right mind and I'm competent. The level of communication I'm on. That part. That's all I'm saying, bro.